All right, we roll. Hey, what is good? Welcome to a new season of Rose City Sports Talk. Bryce Trost, Anwar Jones, the homie Boog. And once again, we're bringing you a NBA preview. And once again, it's coming to you, the night before.
Hey.
You'll take it.
That's what we do. Clutch.
Hey.
Last second shot.
We do what we can. We do what we can. As usual, we're going to start off with some rankings. Touch on Anwar's Keep 'em Low.
Keep 'em low.
Yeah. So not too much new, but yet that's probably part of the problem. But okay, so let's jump.
I'm
not talking about segments. I'm talking about the outlook on the season. That's all I'm talking about. Anyway,
it's gonna be lit.
Let's start down at the bottom.
So this is how we're gonna kind of do it. We're gonna be like, what's gonna make your fan base happy? Like, if you're a fan of this squad, what's gonna make you happy with the season? Like realistic expectations. We're keeping it modest here, and we're gonna start it off. The first team, like, we got a Bulls fan right to the left of me. I'm saying they're gonna be the worst team in the league. So as a Bulls fan, Mr. Shy Boogie, what would make you happy?
Two things. One, if if he can be any type of player to make this Jimmy Butler trade that I didn't want to happen make any kind of sense. And two, if Zach LaVine can come back from that ACL injury and we somehow lock him up in a long-term deal without having to max him out.
That's what I was saying. Zach LaVine. Like, Zach LaVine is gonna. I'm already out on Lloyd Marketing.
Yeah,
I already don't think that dude's gonna be anything but a glorified RJ Banyani. So I just for your team, you got to tank. You got this is the last year to tank.
That's a fact.
So you better be looking at the draft, seeing who you want.
Even if he's good, he ain't good enough to carry us no dubs. That's a fact. So if he's anyone productive, I'll be okay with that. But right now, I'm just saying, I don't want to talk about Chicago.
It's bleak, man. It's bleak. We don't need to talk about them too much. But like, Jerry and Grant could be your starting point guard, and that man still can't dribble.
Like, look.
So like, if you can't dribble with your left hand,
the season has not even started, and Boogie, look how dejected Boogie looks. Sorry.
Bryce, Robin Lopez tweeted a picture of himself and said, "My face when I found out I was the best player on the team." What?
Yes.
What did I do?
Yes.
Robin
Lopez is the best player.
Oh shit.
Oh my God, they ain't worth watching.
All right, moving on.
We would say moving on up, but we kind of moving on down in a sense, because like Orlando.
We're gonna give them a little bit of love compared to Chicago, right?
That's a fact.
You gotta give them a little bit of love.
I just don't like that, right?
Like, Chicago's just no hope. Orlando, you've got.
They're hopeless too. They're hopeless too. They've been in the lottery so many years, and they draft the same player every time. They got Aaron Gordon, and then when they drafted Jonathan Isaac, who I like as a player, but like, that's a duplicate. That's a duplicate. Yeah, it's like they're
trying to develop Gordon. How they gonna break that up? You can't put them on the floor.
You both want them to be stretch forwards. Like power forwards, like hybrid power forwards or whatever. Like Rob Hennigan had that little hybrid forward list that he had that got him fired because he couldn't. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what a scorer looks like. Looking at his track record. So they need a go-to scorer. I think their best scorer is Nikolai Vucic or Evan Fournier. Like. That's ugly. That's ugly.
Yeah,
so,
it ain't
like,
pretty.
you talk about a hopeless team. You've had Shaq leave, Dwight Howard, Tracy McGrady. Like, they've had stars there, but like, they're always
every
fail.
name you just rattled off though is like, there's been some years in between. It's tough. It's tough out there in Orlando. Okay,
but like,
aside from the obvious.
And I forgot we need to circle back because Chicago 20-62. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, throwing out the records. Yeah, okay.
And then Orlando 22-60. So not too much better. I just think they're just just a garbage team.
That's a fact.
Boo boo.
So
Cool.
And speaking of garbage and hot garbage, there was a dumpster fire there in New York, and that's gonna smell pretty funky right there. And they need to bottom out right now. The New York Knicks, they need to get the number 1 pick in the draft because that's the only thing that's gonna help this team out somehow.
Is it though? Is a number 1 pick actually gonna help that franchise?
I mean,
you,
they need it. They need something there in New York. Like everybody's watching these Dennis Smith
we know
highlights.
they need something. I'm just saying, well, one
It's a
player.
start.
Well, as a building piece, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're starting over with the number 1 pick and the unicorn, that ain't a bad way to go.
No, you need.
I'm
something
obviously
to pair
not
with.
hoping to get that for bias reasons, but you put whoever, Michael Porter or Bagley. With Porzingis, and that can definitely help y'all forget about that Phil Jackson era.
Oh no! I mean, when you ever see Joakim Noah there, you're gonna think of the Phil Jackson era.
New York's not forgetting that era for a while.
Not Nick Buckets over there, and they're replacing Carmelo Anthony. You're gonna think of.
Y'all got Noah for another 3 years?
Another 3 years. Another 3 years.
He says y'all got because whether he wants to admit it or not, New York is one of Anwar's teams.
I love New York. New York. It's sad, man. I mean,
he's saying it now. He's saying it now.
I had to suffer through like the Melo. Like they just wasted Melo's prime. Say what you want to say about Melo, but like they did not put him next to anybody of relevance for the past 7 years, other than Amari Stoudemire, who couldn't stay on the court, whether he was punching a fire hydrant or fire extinguisher.
Too many of them red wine baths.
Oh man.
Yeah. Stupid.
We just let me sip on the red wine.
Stupid.
The whole New York is sipping on some red wine watching this team.
All right, who else
We're
we
not
got?
gonna
Going down the line.
paper cut.
Going down the line. We covered 32. We covered 31.
Oh, 23 and 59. They're gonna be terrible.
Yeah, they're gonna
next on the list. I think this is the worst. That's funny because we had 3 teams in the East. So the top worst teams in the East.
That's surprising,
in the
huh?
East, in the East.
The story of our lives for the last 10 years.
Phoenix, I think, are still at the bottom of the pile in the West. They have talent there, but other than Devin Booker, they got Josh Jackson, who's going to be a pretty special player. He's going to need to learn how to shoot, but I like that pairing between the two. Both playmaking wings that can facilitate an offense, so I think they can have some success. But I mean, other than that, like I don't really see too much going on. They cashed out T.J. Warren. They're probably gonna get rid of Eric Bledsoe at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that Tyler Eunice kind of.
And homeboy hurt. Brandon Knight.
Brandon Knight's out for the year.
So all bad news for Phoenix, but they do got the young killer in Devin Booker, which says a lot. They wasn't willing to part with him for Kyrie.
Yeah.
Could have been more so because they couldn't guarantee Kyrie to stay.
Yeah.
But still, Devin Booker's an attractive piece. What's his name?
Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson.
Definitely.
He got the ill Dr. J from.
A special player. We see, if he can stretch that J, because he'd be a lot of wing players.
That boy got bunnies
all
too.
that athleticism, but if you can't shoot a shot, it's gonna be hard for that talent to transition in the league.
All right, what do we got for a record?
That's basically with them. Like that's what their fans. If Devin Booker can be a superstar, they'll be cool with losing as much as they're gonna lose because they're gonna lose a lot. 24 and 58.
Okay.
That's all I can give them.
I mean, I feel like 24 and 58 is almost respectable for you got. Your number 1 scorer is averaging like 22 a game, and then your number 3 is only at 11, and he out for the season.
He might get 20. He needs to get 25. I need 20. I need 25 from Booker.
And that's realistic.
I need 25.
I mean, you're gonna need 25 at least.
Because
now.
he has the confidence.
Yep.
And he had a little breakout party last year,
Yeah,
so now he's feeling like. So I wouldn't be surprised if he give you 25 a game this year. And he's efficient.
All right. So on to the next. We're looking at if Brooklyn Nets, if their fans, I mean, they'll be happy if one, they get like as good a pick as they possibly can get. Like they're giving that away. No, actually no. They're done. They get their pick this year, so they might want to tank. They might want to tank, but if D'Angelo Russell is actually like a key piece with them, I think they'll be cool because they're not going to be doing too much this year, other than like treading water over there in New York with that squad. They got a lot of 3-point shooters there that can catch fire. They caught fire toward the end of last year, but we'll see how that goes.
I think Brooklyn got enough to compete daily and not frustrate the fan base too much. Just in the sense that they, even going back to last year, they were in a lot of close games. It's similar to last year. This year, they'll be close. They just don't have a closer. They don't have that one player. And D'Angelo Russell won't be that player this year, but moving forward, especially if they get a decent pick.
You think he's gonna get 20 this year though? No. I think he might get 20.
I think high expectation would be a good solid 18-7, 18-8. That's a good step.
I need 20 from him.
20 is a lot.
I need 20. He can have all the shots that he wants. You know, he messed it up over there in La La Land. You had the perfect stage for you to do what you needed to do.
Well, he got the green light.
He blew that.
He got the green light.
He's looked good. He's looked good in the preseason. Preseason is preseason.
Yeah, so you can't judge anything off preseason.
We'll see what he can do. I think he might get 20 a game.
All right, what do you got for the record?
25-57.
25-57, okay.
Like you're still not getting a lot of dubs, Brooklyn.
We're inching up.
Even if they have fans.
We're giving a game more respect than Phoenix got.
I've never met a Brooklyn Nets fan, except for Jay-Z.
Yeah,
and this is another team
that era passed.
And they did Jay dirty, too, so, like...
What you mean?
I mean, he only had 1%. Like they acted like he had like some big stock on the team.
That was the business.
No, he only had like 1% ownership of the team, and they had him prancing around like
it was a minority ownership, and they were using him to basically cover up the gentrification that was going on around the entire arena because Brooklyn.
Well, he got the stadium built. He held.
Yeah, in the process of leveling, like I don't know how many projects probably.
And as soon as that thing was created, it was snip by Jay-Z.
But you know what that did?
Yeah, no, he got his.
But you know what that did for Jay-Z though? That boosted his profile on the sports.
Yeah.
So I mean,
now he
ain't no dummy. So don't think he got used. Like he got whatever he wanted from it.
He was used a little bit.
He got used. He got used and he used because from there. Rock Nation Sports.
Let's say this is Jay we're talking about. He knows.
I mean, he's just
going in.
Though it's been a while.
But it's a slow burn.
But he got.
Don't feel bad for Jay.
I know.
Don't feel bad for Jay.
Okay, who's up next? Who we got next?
Oh, we might feel bad for this team, Atlanta. Like you had just won 60 games a couple of years ago. You have four All-Stars in the All-Star game.
Number one seed in the East.
Your best player. I mean, it's a little bit better than Rolo, but it's Dennis Schroeder. The German Rondo.
It ain't a whole lot better.
He balled out.
German Rondo.
He balled out a little bit against John Wall. He got mad. And punched somebody during the summer. So he's gonna miss a couple games here. But I think Atlanta will be happy if they can get John Collins proves to be like a solid player there because he looked kind of like a steal in the summer league, but. We know we can't push too much stock in the summer league,
especially when they work hard. One of my big things with the summer league play is how easy or hard it is for them to get their buckets. Like Damian Lillard, when he went off in the summer league, I knew that was going to translate because he didn't break a sweat. With John Collins, it looked like he was working real hard.
I don't know. He was dunking a lot of people.
But
he was one of the
maximum effort was going into it.
Yeah, he was giving it 100.
He was raising a lot of eyebrows.
He was giving it 100. So we'll see.
All right, what you got on the record?
26-56, which is a team that they were 43-39 last year. They made the playoffs, and I think it's just going to be.
It's going to get uglier.
A sharp
It's going to get uglier in Atlanta.
They lost Paul Millsap. I mean, they lost. I don't think they really lost Dwight Howard. He's not too much of a loss of anything, but
especially with the direction that they're going in, you can't win. They don't need to pay him $20 million a year for the next 3 years.
Atlanta, Atlanta's never bottomed out. Like they're always in the 8, 9.
Well, they bottomed out now.
I'm like,
they're gonna bottom out.
You just rattled up a 20, 25, 26 win season.
No, this is the first.
To me, that translates into a bottom out.
I think they need to
It's been a while since the Al Horford, Josh Smith era, where they've been out of the picture completely.
Yeah.
Now, this team,
I agree with that point.
This team is used to bottoming them out. They always bottom out.
They are the bottom out.
They are probably one of the most bottom out teams you can ever.
All right, who we got next?
And that's Sacramento.
Oh yeah, that don't stop.
The Kings,
that tune do not stop in Sacramento.
The Queens.
Sacramento Queens, as Shaq Diesel used to say.
Until they got a piece of the
ownership, and then they was Kings again.
Yeah.
But with them, I think right now you're looking at Divock did a pretty good job during the offseason, which was surprising. He got George Hill in there. He got Zach Randolph, Vince Carter. Got some better veterans in there, some leadership that they can provide for the youngins. And then you got De'Aaron Fox. I thought they should have drafted Malik Monk to go along with him and bring that Kentucky backcourt there. But right now, like, you got rid of Boogie Cousins. So, and what you got for Boogie was Buddy Hield. So you got, like, Buddy Hield has to be what we saw of him in Oklahoma. Or it's just like every time you watch that team, if you're a fan, every time you're gonna see.
How old is Buddy Hield? 25,
like
26.
He was an old rookie.
It's a wrap. Like you can't be 25, 26, and still have a rise in your game.
Hit your stride.
He got to jump. I mean, he's not. He still has. I think he still has potential. Some guys can be late.
He can have a job. I think he definitely has a job. When you have a skill, you have a job. But go-to scorer, I mean, I think the biggest thing is trying to develop De'Aaron Fox behind good tutelage of George Hill.
But that's the guy, that type of De'Aaron Fox can penetrate to. He's lightning quick, so he gets to the hole and kicks it out to somebody like Buddy Hield.
But your go-to scorer ain't just a spot-up shooter. Your go-to scorer got to be able to create. You see Buddy Hield creating anything?
A little bit.
Create, like, you got to be a go-to scorer. You got to create.
That's what he needs to get better. He needs to get better.
He's 38 years old. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Okay, so what's
28 and 54.
28 and 54 for the Sacramento Kings. Okay.
Which is actually like a decline from what they won last year, but I just
and is that a surprise? Is that? I mean, no. Okay. I was like.
And this, it's a surprise I gave this team as many wins as I did, and I wanted to give them less. Indiana.
Uh-oh.
You lost Paul George.
Yeah.
I think that
pennies
team,
on the dollar.
Yeah, pennies on Victor Oladipo and Sabonis, and not getting a draft pick is
it's a travesty.
It's a travesty. Like,
yikes.
I don't care about selling tickets with Victor Oladipo because he went to he's a Hoosier. Like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? And then Victor Oladipo's dropping R&B albums and stuff like that. Like, you should be working on that jumper because you were MIA.
Do we need to do a segue just real quick about NBA players just needing to stay focused on the NBA game? Why are so many players putting out? I know the history. I know the history. But let's also look at the history of quality from these efforts, as you could say.
My thing is this.
Let's go take it back to Shaq Diesel days.
He went platinum.
He did.
He went platinum.
Shazam. Oscar nominated.
Ooh, that's not
No, it ain't no Oscar nominated.
I think when
that's the worst movie ever made.
I think when you still got stuff to prove, like
playing defense.
As a
like
fan,
playing
if
defense.
you still got holes, like glaring holes in your game, fam,
like
I need you to be in the court, B. Like, if we paying you $20 million a year, and I get it, you need your off time and your time to develop you as a person. But if I'm paying you $20 million a year, B, I don't need to see your jumper not on because you've been in the studio or something.
He's one of those rare people. I've seen a couple of people like this. OJ Mayo and Tyreek Evans, where they had their best years when they were rookie, and they're like, oh, this guy's gonna be like a foundational piece, and then they just regress. And that's the trajectory that I see him at. He plateaued in his rookie year, and he just is what he is, which is you get bounced around. It's frustrating because you think he has potential, but then you're left disappointed.
And it's disappointing because he does have an elite talent. I mean, his athleticism. I mean, he's in the top of the crop. So why you not in there, man? Get them runs, get them R&B albums, man. Like get that J right. Learn how to slide your feet consistently.
He just doesn't do enough for me. But I think Indiana needs to, in order to be happy, they need to have Miles Turner be like a franchise player. Like, we don't know how good. Like Miles Turner, he was solid. He was a pretty much a steal at number 11 slot. Like he definitely went lower than he should have. Like, I mean, Orlando, they dropped it Mario Hezonja over over Turner. Like, imagine what they would have been like if that type with him on the roster.
Well,
so
what preseason?
I think Miles Turner needs to prove that he can be their go-to guy where they can have something to build.
We saw glimpses of it preseason.
Yeah, no, he's definitely.
Especially at that position. I mean, being a traditional center or a center that can, back to the basket and take it out. I mean, it's a lost art. There ain't many like him. So all he got to do is be confident. He's going to get the green light. It's just a matter of can he weather the storm of losing and then build it through the draft, because ain't nobody going to Indiana via Fields.
Oh, no.
So patience and
development and Pritchard,
key.
I'm not even sure if he's the right man to lead the job when you trade Paul George. Like, you could have, like, Denver was given, like,
let me tell you something about Pritchard.
Harris.
As a Blazer fan, I know all about.
I got him.
You know too much about Pritchard.
No. Y'all are in trouble now. No.
And y'all got Nate.
Yeah. And they got Nate.
Nate McMillan.
Yep.
Yeah, Portland connection. I don't think Portland.
That is not the connection you want.
Right.
Okay. What's the record?
28-54. Like,
all right.
I guess they can get. I mean, they got some NBA caliber players. Thaddeus Young, Darren Collison, Corey Joseph. Like, they got enough around that can actually win some games. But Lance Stevenson is going to be a primary focal point of the team. Like, it's just all
Larry
bad.
Bird did him a solid before he left.
He did. Go on, Lance. Get your money.
Go.
Paul George was like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not messing with him.
All right, what we got next?
Next we got Dallas. I don't really see too much improvement from last year. You got Dennis Smith, who can be the steal of the draft, so they're definitely happy with getting him over New York passing on him, Chicago passing on him, who could have used a point guard. Orlando needed a score.
What you mean?
Like,
We good. We got Jerry and Grant, B.
And Chris Dunn, who can't shoot, and talk about an old rookie. He's a 37-year-old second-year player. Like, what is he? What type of improvement?
But that's not what we talking about,
make?
though. So.
But like Dallas, they've done a good job with just getting guys off the street, like Yogi Ferrell and Seth Curry and some guys that they've developed, Dwight Powell, like these type of guys that they've just. Rick Carlisle works his magic and gets the best out of these guys. So when you get somebody with raw talent like Dennis Smith, I think he's going to be able to, if he's patient, he's going to be able to mold Smith into like a guy that they can build around and maybe take the load. Like he's not going to replace Dirk, but like maybe get that team, that fan base kind of excited going future as he.
And it's one of those, that key position. I mean, a point guard. So if you can get a dynamic point guard, you're already a first-class organization. You got a iconic player. You got an owner that everybody likes. So you put a good player. You know what I mean, though, right? Like you got a owner that players like.
He's
a player friendly.
He'll take care of it.
He's a player friendly owner. So with that in mind, he's definitely, I think, if he shows out enough to start, bringing some other talent in there, so they rebuild don't have to be as arduous as, Indiana's or Orlando's.
Yeah. I think that eventually they'll get back up. Like Cuban's too competitive to have them be like a bad squad. So
plus
I got them
right about Dirk. So
I got them
that's
just basically
to the players.
30-52, just off the strength of Rick Carlisle's coaching. I think. With that roster, he can get.
I got them losing a couple more games. That West is tough.
It is tough. And
Dennis Smith, I don't know about his. I know what he got on offense, but he's gonna have to stick them point guards out west. They're gonna have Dirk. They're gonna have Dirk running. They're gonna have an interesting line. They're gonna have Dirk running the center, Harrison Barnes at the 4, and then Matthews at the 3. Dirk's gonna get bullied around.
Hey,
they finna pick and roll him to death. Like. That ain't a good idea.
We'll see. I know Nerlens Noel just can't start on any team.
You're gonna have zero.
Like he just
why?
He has a lot of talent, but he just
there's zero rim protection on that team.
If Noel can
with
get
that
on the board.
Yeah, Dirk at the 5.
30-52. I know they could win less though. They could win less.
Yeah, 28.
And this team could probably win less. I don't know why I gave them this many wins. Detroit. I don't know. I don't see it with
You gave Detroit how many wins?
33-49.
This is possible.
This is the East. I mean, I think like They have to win some games.
You got an all-star.
Somebody has to win.
You got an all-star center in Drummond,
Yeah,
even
but
though
he's
he's falling out of favor. But
Since
still,
he's been an all-star.
But he's still a talented player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Still makes a difference. I like Avery. I like the addition of Avery
That's a
Bradley.
good pickup. That's
He's
a good
on the
pickup.
contract year. He's still young.
Yeah.
He's looking for some respect.
Yeah.
You know, he's looking to be a go-to player. He added the efficient three-point shot.
He's the best defensive guard in the league. Hands down.
And then I still believe in Stan Van Gundy as a leader.
I like Stan as a coach. I don't like Stan as a GM. I don't think he's really made any good moves during his tenure as far as like drafting. Like I don't think he's done great. I think the key guy Stanley Johnson. This is
third.
Third season. I think Stanley Johnson. He picked over Justice Winslow. He picked over. I actually had them taking Turner. I think I had him taking Turner. Well, I think Justice Winslow far better than Stanley Johnson.
Well, he's been on the court. Stanley Johnson ain't really even defined the role yet. So
yeah, I mean, like,
but
you just need him to be you just need him to be a starter at this point. Like, if he can be a starter, you're kind of.
And he has the makeup. What 6'7"?
Yeah, he was a man child coming in. Like you thought he was gonna be.
I thought that was a good pick at that time.
Yeah, I mean, he's built like a Kawhi Leonard type of thing, but he don't have anywhere near his.
What's that balance out? What's that balance out right now? In terms of west to east.
CD.
Yeah.
Oh, we've gone through a lot of the teams in the East so far, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's kind of expected.
I mean, in the
real conversation, we already know we're going to get to that much further down the line here.
I mean, that's why they talk about reseeding, because this East is pretty.
We got to touch on that as well, because that's crazy.
Because if you look at it right now, I think this next team who I got, who I get surprised that I'm putting them here. I have them as an 8 seed Philadelphia. I got Philly in the playoffs, and with a 36-46 record. Like, that's not a lot of wins to be in the.
Yeah, but Philly will take it.
To be in the
Philly fans will take it.
Because they're tired of the process. It's time to start winning some games. I just don't see Joel Embiid staying on the court long enough.
I'm praying he does, man.
I like him.
He's so excited to watch.
He's electric both on the court and off. You know
Did you see what he did to Whiteside?
Yeah.
All that he was talking all that.
Telling dude, you can't guard me.
Yeah.
You have to guard me. Like, I'm with all that. But here's the thing.
His confidence is like through the roof.
I need your feet to be through the roof. I need you to take better care. I don't know what you need to do, but you need to do it. Like,
Hey, Kobe went to Germany.
How many
he went to
games
he went to Qatar. Let's see what can happen.
I just can't bet no money on him. But
you also got Ben. You got Ben Simmons, who I think is going to be. I think it's going to be Ben Simmons, Alonzo Ball for the rookie of the year.
Now let's keep it to Ben Simmons real quick.
But Ben Simmons is definitely.
Ben Simmons, from the small sample size that we got from the summer league, the preseason the way he just coast to coast, like that's the ease that I'm talking about. When it looks easy,
it looks
easy.
It
looks like the Red Sea parts for you.
That's what you're gonna see translate a little bit more into the regular season.
Exactly.
Maybe not, and if he stays healthy, then obviously playoffs a whole nother game.
7-foot point guard.
I know, but
they say he grew over the summer.
He's 7-foot point guard.
And
like, I don't care if he can't shoot. Like, stop telling me what he can't do. Look at what he can do. Like, I have a 7-footer who can lead the break, who can distribute the rock at just with passes like only other like
elite athleticism.
He does let LeBron passes, like those little skip passes that he has the vision to do that, to follow that blueprint.
And he makes good decisions in the air.
He's legit, man. And like, I think with them, with him and Joel Embiid,
health,
Saric, I think is nice. The health is also going to go with Markelle Fultz. So like, everybody's getting like, I don't know if you've seen his free throws. Did you see his little
the hitch?
Yeah, the little hitch in his thing. Like, people are talking about, okay, why did he change his shooting stroke? The thing is, he changed his stroke because of his shoulder. So like, what's wrong with his shoulder? That's what I want to know, because you have a history with Philadelphia
with injuries. And what with we ain't gonna find out, because they said his knee,
like a bruised knee, and then he had like a meniscus that he had to get worked on. Like, Ben Simmons, his problem wasn't so bad, and then he ended up missing the season.
Simmons' foot,
like, Yeah, and
It really, you can tell because
Fultz?
the franchises either they come out and they're a little bit more public and like kind of forthcoming about the injury.
Yeah, he's getting bashed
Or
right now. You need to protect him.
You can see when they start tiptoeing with the words or downplaying an injury when you're.
Well, he's on the bench. He's starting the season on the bench. Like he's gonna be. He's not starting. He's gonna be a sixth man. And like, if you're gonna trade up to get this guy,
then put him in.
Put him in the game. Yeah. Like, why he didn't get a lot of run in preseason, but
yeah, that's still you gotta feel it out.
I mean, but maybe you can just let him, as the season progresses, like ease him into it, because what's the pressure? Like, why not? I mean, we've worked
at this point.
We've waited to this point.
Yeah.
Like, let's take things slow and take things gradual. Let's let Ben Simmons run the show, because we need Ben Simmons to be good today.
I understand that, but you traded up. So, like, you got, on the other hand, you got Lonzo Ball, who's ready to play. You got Jason Tatum, who's ready to play. You got some guys there that you could have taken there, and you got somebody who can't stay on the court, and you're not comfortable with him starting from day one. And he's a number one pick. Like, if I'm trading up to get the number one pick, like,
and it wasn't really a competition either. He was a consistent.
He was consensus number one pick. So anyway. I always thought it was Lonzo, but we'll get. I think Philly's gonna take a step. But this is. I mean,
how many games is Bryce? How many games Joel Embiid got to play for them to make the playoffs? 82 games. How many games he got to play? Not how many they got to win. How many he got to play?
Full on healthy.
They're not gonna play him.
That's
like if he limps,
you know what I want?
He's not playing. So he's healthy. How many games does he play for them to make the playoffs?
50.
That's what I was like. That's the number. I was like, man. Give me 50, Joe.
So
if he can go 50,
the process. We need 50
I'll shut
games,
up. I'll shut up about the injuries and all that. But
we need 50 games because when he was on the court, like that small sample size, they had it above. I don't know if they had above 500. It was close. It was close to above 500. They were close to 500.
I mean, my man said,
he had like an 8.
My man said straight up, don't expect me to play a whole season.
Yeah, I know. He did say
like,
that.
so, I mean, so if things aren't never as good or as bad as people say, what does that say about that statement, G?
But he got other guys like Justin Anderson saying, but he's saying like, this guy could be the best player in the league.
Yeah. And who is that?
Yeah, be nervous. Be nervous. All right. Keep it going.
And
keep it going.
Speaking of staying healthy, this team, this city, they have a curse. They have a curse.
Oh
here.
Yeah.
Because this is the book. This is where you go to get hurt because like New Orleans, man. Like everybody who steps foot in that city is getting hurt the last 2-3 years. It's been bad, and now you have them getting Rondo already hurt with a sports hernia. Solomon Hill, the one wing that they have, he's out for the season. Like
Drew Holiday is always a weird fall away from being out for 40 games.
He'll slip on some Gatorade or something like that and be out for 2 months.
He hurt himself stretching.
That fool was always hurt. Anthony Davis is kind of brittle.
Is injury prone.
A little bit brittle.
It's Chicago stand up. He went to my high school.
He's a muppet. Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
You just call him brittle.
He is
and then
brittle.
you just go Chicago stand up.
I love Anthony Davis. Shout out to
one of my favorite players in the league, bro. I mean, like,
but the man don't stay on the court.
Yeah, and I think it's just when you grow that fast, you like. You just
become brittle.
It is never a consistent. It's never a consistent injury. It's not like it's just the knee or
it's
just the
something.
back. You go like on 2K and they show the body and what it's all over his body. It's like cancer. Like everything lights up on the X-ray. Like that hurts. That hurts.
Operation.
That hurts.
You
need to shade that down.
Every time he hits the ground, like that whole arena just gashed. Like
zero air.
Is he gonna
zero
get hurt?
oxygen when he falls.
Yeah. So that's like I think that's what they like. New Orleans, they gotta focus on. The fans will be happy if they stay healthy, if they can keep their stars healthy, and if they can click. If Boogie and Anthony Davis can click.
So tell me what click means. Tell me what click means in the scheme of the game.
Like they need to be able to dominate at the same time.
And what kind of schemes? Break down. Tell me what has to happen on the court But that's because I don't see it.
Because I mean, the thing about it's kind of hard to see because you don't have a point. You don't have a point guard to get those guys to block. So I would think you would run a 3-man game where you're running pick and rolls and having maybe running a couple double pick and rolls where you're having one of them dive to the basket, one of them picking and popping. Pick your poison. The point guard can I can give it to Boogie, I can give it to Brown. You guys just picking teams apart. I don't think Drew Holiday has that type of court vision, and then Rondo does. He has the court vision, but he doesn't have the jumper for you to respect what you can do.
And he's lost a step. Both offense and defense, several steps.
And then they talk about them possibly doing pick and roll together, but I just don't think Boogie is a finisher. He can handle the rock.
What do you mean pick and roll together?
They were talking about the Boogie and Anthony Davis running pick and roll.
That's the play.
Yeah, running. That's
Davis
the play.
has the ball and
Boogie would have the ball and you're running. Anthony Davis running the screen. You're running that.
The slowest.
So
it sounds crazy.
It's crazy. But it's you want to find a way
Twin
to
Towers
those
running
guys.
pick and rolls.
What is that?
Yeah.
Tim Duncan and David Robinson.
Yeah.
It's a high
pick and roll.
Yeah.
The high pick and roll too.
Yeah.
They don't shoot well enough for that. They're not fast enough for that. I don't think either one of them.
They shoot.
Neither one of them handle the ball like that. It doesn't.
I'm still surprised you're giving them the record you're giving them. So
I'm giving them 36 and 44 just off the strength of Boogie and Anthony Davis. Don't have really, and I struggle with giving them. I wanted to give them less. I really did. I wanted to give them less, but I'm they have Boogie and Anthony Davis.
I understand that, but look at, it's been 3 years or two going to 3 years now that we've talked about this. It is a curse.
It is.
There will be I'm sorry. There will be injuries.
They have a weird team because Tony Allen. I think Tony Allen might be their starting.
I can't give them that many wins.
All right. With that in mind,
I know.
I have to refute this because the biggest thing on this, Boogie not gonna be there the whole season.
And that's the thing. If they're not successful, Boogie can be traded.
Yeah, right out the gate. They got to come out right out the gate. Boog's not ready to go now.
Yeah, by All-Star, by January, we'll know what direction this team and then the fire sale for Boogie.
Don't we already know Boog wants out now, though?
No, he's gonna give it a shot. He's gonna give it a shot. I think Boogie's either gonna go play with his boy John Wall, or get traded to the team. We might just transition to the team because they have the assets to go there. They need a star. The Lakers.
Crazy talk, guys.
Weezy, can we get this?
Crazy
is a small
talk.
break. He's
been waiting for this.
Small break in Weezy Land. Oh. Or we gotta take this breaking news for Weezy Land things. This is what we do.
I see your notes right now. We're already in Weezy. We headed to Weezy Land.
You might as well get there now.
When we're start now.
We're there. I just gotta take a little bit of it, and I'm gonna be not too biased, but the fact that, check me out here now. Brook Lopez, expiring contract. Julius Randle, high potential type of player still. You can flip them over there to New Orleans. Maybe even throw in what do you call it? If you want Zubac, we got a young center there for you. If you want Jordan Clarkson, you can take that. If you want Caldwell Pope
for Boogie,
these are pieces that you could get. That's a legit. Is that not legit?
If he's gonna leave, then anything you get for him.
Here's a deal that works in the cap. You trade Zubac, Caldwell Pope, Julius Randle for Boogie Cousins.
But here's the problem though. Caldwell Pope, 1 year contract, so you got to figure out.
Yeah.
Wait. But you got to figure out if you want to pay him. And then 2, this is Randall's contract.
Restricted.
So that means you get him for 1 more year.
He's a free. He'll be a free. You got to pay him.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So do you want to pay Caldwell Pope $23-25 million a year?
The cap is leveled out, so he's not going to get that type of money.
Okay, so but I'm saying, so 20.
He might get 12.
Do you want?
He might get the 12 ball, 14. That's what we're talking. That's what we're talking about there. So you're gonna lose Boogie for nothing. So you're gonna have Anthony Davis, Caldwell Pope, Julius Randle, Zubac. That's not a bad team to kind of build around.
Crazy talk, real quick. Should the Pelicans trade Anthony Davis?
Hey,
If you can get
who's that? Hold on. Who's asking? Is the franchise asking, or is
I think
Anthony Davis's team quietly asking?
you're gonna have to start looking at trading Anthony Davis.
The clock is ticking.
Oh yeah.
And he did that first extension that most superstars do to kind of keep the fans like I'm here.
He's only
living
one
off
injury
ball
away.
time and the clock is
Well,
ticking fast.
not even so much the injury, because I mean he's good enough that he's worth the gamble or the risk on you picking up his deal, whatever it is.
I agree, but
can
you not say because of his history?
No, because he hasn't had anything too traumatic. Like he hasn't had like
He's
ACL.
nagging. It's just
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's just-
That is a
My biggest
He's
thing
just
is
breaking down.
my biggest thing on the ticking away is the clock on him gonna be out of it. Like you've
Yeah, he
wasted
only
his
has a couple
career
more, yeah.
to this point.
oh yeah.
Yes, you made the move for Boogie, and you huge.
That was so late though. That was
huge
so
guys are
late.
too
Huge
smart.
risk, but huge reward
Yeah.
if
You
it
have
works
to do
out.
that trade. You have to do that trade. You do that trade
But-
100% of the time.
But I mean, it's New Orleans, the market. Y'all haven't done anything. Like
He's not
right
going to allow
now,
them to stay
and
around
Anthony
there.
Davis got what? 3 years left on
No,
his deal?
no, it's two.
Two
it's
years.
2
2 years in the player option.
It's 2 years. I think
2
it's
years
like
in the player option?
2020. He can
It's
be out
time.
of there.
It's time to start
So it's
thinking
like you
about
gotta-
where he want to go.
So like I mean, this is like it's like they made a last ditch effort to get Boogie, and I don't think it's gonna work out because they don't have the surrounding pieces there. So like, eventually you're gonna have to try to trade him. Like, and it's gonna be whether that's Boston that has like some young guys there, or Philly if they wanted to package some of their guys there.
I got a deal.
Chicago's not gonna be
Markkanen.
it. Chicago's not gonna be
Yeah.
the one.
He don't want to come home.
No,
He
You
don't.
don't want to come home,
No,
man.
he don't.
No.
He don't.
He don't want to come.
You heard outright how much drama there is at that
That's a fact.
organization.
My organization.
But
There's so much drama
We
over
said
there.
we got a little off track, but we can get back to this team because he could go to this team too. Anthony Davis could go to the Lakers. So the Lakers there are the next team, and
We
the
were
fans-
already talking about the
The
Lakers.
fans, no, we got it. I got him at 36 and 44.
All right,
So
all right.
I kept
That's
it
crazy.
I kept it respectable.
What's respectable about 36
36
wins
and
in
40.
the West?
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Respectable.
I'm not backing you up on this
Now,
one. I think that's
36
crazy.
wins in the West.
They won 26 games last year. I think adding we got rid of Brook Lopez.
Oh my God,
I mean, we got rid of Moscow, we got Brook
Is
Lopez.
Brook Lopez gonna play the season? How many games? You
Yes,
got
Brook Lopez is not like stop it. He's off that. He's off your report.
You see the
He's
defense?
been healthy.
You see the defense?
You saw he developed a 3-point jump
What's been
shot.
healthy? Tell me what been healthy.
The last like 3 years he's been healthy.
Last 3 years?
Yes, look it up. Look it up. We got stats. Somebody look it up.
Can you look
Can
up?
somebody look it up? Somebody look it
Brook
up.
Lopez
And
is-
while you're looking
how
it
many
up,
games played the last couple seasons?
Lonzo Ball is the real deal. He's gonna make everybody better.
We need the Brook Lopez
Kyle
injury
Kuzma.
report.
Kyle Kuzma is he not legit? Is Kyle Kuzma not legit?
So you telling me
They're
that
deep,
Kyle,
man.
that Kuzma
They're deep.
has shown you enough this outside your fandom? Like let's speak outside the fandom real quick. Let's speak outside the fandom real quick.
Yes.
Kyle Kuzma.
I'm not the only one talking about
Is he
Kyle
good?
Kuzma.
No, you're not, because he
The whole world's talking about Kyle Kuzma.
because he's with the
Basketball
Lakers.
world.
The whole world.
basketball world.
The whole world's
The
talking
whole
about
world
Kyle
wouldn't be
Kuzma.
talking about
Everybody's
him.
talking about Kyle Kuzma. You know, we take the message.
They
about Kyle
wouldn't be
Kuzma.
talking about him if he was
There's
in
been
Orlando.
stories. Check Bleacher Report.
He's with the
Check-
Lakers, yo. Like, come on, man.
He
Like,
killed
like,
Summer League.
let's not do the inflation thing. Like, they talk about him because he's in La La Land.
He's a steal of the draft.
Absolutely. But with that in mind, he's still a
75
rookie. You mean to
last
tell
year.
me you got
75 games last year.
and what else? What else? What's the last couple?
Really?
But
Lopez
anyway,
put
yes.
up 75 last
That's a
week?
lot.
They have some
All right.
depth to
Get
their.
back to
All
Kuzma,
right.
G.
All
So
right.
get back to Kuzma. So you mean to tell me he's made that much of an impression that you
Look,
feel like y'all
look.
gonna make a 10-game league?
Look. And no, so Kyle Kuzma is part of that 10 game.
Obviously.
Is part of that 10-game league. Now when Kuzma was killing in preseason, was killing in summer league. I was like, all right, that's cool. Like I'm
You was doing
excited.
more than that.
Like I was happy. I'm like, we got another player. Like he's legit. We traded D'Angelo Russell.
He was making
got
Lonzo
him.
look silly.
And then in
He really
preseason, this dude is looking dead legit. I mean, he's looking consistent with his jump shot. He's creating off the dribble. He's doing all types of moves to the basket, finishing at the rim. He's super competitive. Like, this kid, like, the GMs are already talking about they're kicking themselves for not drafting him. Like it's not just me, like building into the hype. Like, he's on my squad.
Absolutely get it.
Like, there's been a lot of other people talking about this kid, and I think he's special.
Wow, but I'm saying you can't keep saying that fact though. Like, yeah, they're talking about because it's LA, and I like.
They got a lot of young talent there. Lonzo Ball, Ingram, Kuzma.
What's Ingram gonna do this year?
And I'm not over the top. This is a realistic expectation show right here. I think you
can't tell me that with a straight face with the Lakers at 36 and 44.
We'll see.
You said it's a realistic sports talk show, and then he throw out that the Lakers are gonna win 30. Nah, I can't.
Bryce, we gotta step up our preparation.
Yeah, for real, because this
guy.
The only counters I have are laughable, but it's just like obvious. I feel like this is stop.
All right, next team.
But I am excited about Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball, man, come on.
About Lonzo Ball.
You see the dimes. You see Jason Kidd with a jump shot. We told you this. I told you this from the get-go.
He gonna get burned on that defensive end.
He's gonna burn other cats, man.
What? Let's talk about him being scared. Why he every time go up against a good point guard?
He switches off.
Not just switch off. He ain't played.
De'Aaron Fox, people are calling him out. He's been hurt all preseason. They sat him out all preseason. He's not ducking De'Aaron Fox. He busted De'Aaron Fox's ass on the first game they played. Like, people forget. Like, yes, I know he gave him that business in the tournament.
In the game that mattered. In the game that mattered.
But at the beginning of the season.
In the game that mattered.
At the beginning of the season.
Which one matters?
The tournament game.
Okay.
But Lonzo Ball gave him that work in the second half of that UCLA.
He couldn't hide. He couldn't hide in the real game.
Now, I was pissed off that game. Lonzo looked a little shook. I ain't gonna front. Like, he looked a little shook. I was
Dad looked a little shook.
Doubting.
Dad looked a little shook.
A little bit, but Lonzo Ball's gonna be great, man.
Dad looked a little shook. All right.
On to the next.
Thank God. On to the next. No more LA Lakers.
Sorry.
All right, let's get this. Who we got next?
So this is the Memphis crew, the grit and grind crew.
Yep.
Rest in peace to that.
And that's what I like. The fan base will be happy if they can still maintain that culture, and I think it's going to be hard because you got two of the stalwarts of that whole culture was Zach Randolph and Tony Allen. I think they were really the grimy.
It was built on their names.
Yeah, it really was. Like,
because the other boys had the talent, and they was
built on those late season pushes.
They were the muscle, and I just think you got rid of that identity. Even just on the court, Tony Allen was hard to play sometimes. Zach Randolph was hard to play. You know, you need something that's more athletic on the perimeter. You need somebody who can stretch the floor from the forward position.
Zach Randolph, whenever he's on the floor, he just did the pick and roll, and he couldn't stay in front of anybody for any amount of time.
It's just they had an identity. I think too many times in the league, like, teams don't have a real identity, a real style of play, and you knew every time what you're going to get from Memphis. The fact that they couldn't shoot, like, that was their fault for not supplying the team with shooters and allowing that defensive mentality to still hold true and provide a success for the team. That was the foundation for the team. Is their style. So I love their coach, Fizdale. Is dope. He was a star during the playoffs with his press conference there. Take that for data. He does look like Tom
He talks like him too.
Yeah. And I want to give them more wins. But I got them at 37-45. I don't think they did enough. They have a lot of fringe players like Andrew Harrison, Wayne Selden, Jermichael Green.
Not enough impact players.
Yeah,
and then the one guy that they did pay probably ain't gonna play either.
Parsons is garbage.
I mean, that was their big free agent signing.
They cashed him out.
And he ain't did nothing. He's on the Boog All-Star injury report too.
He just, man, he's
just better at being a friend and
he just flies in DMs. That's all he does, man. He better in real life. He's gonna go to court.
Like, all right.
If anybody's trying to,
I feel bad for Memphis though, man, because I really like Mike Conley. Underrated. He'll be underrated.
Mike Conley is so paid though now.
True. Feel bad.
Man, you can't feel so bad when.
But I'm just saying,
last year he was the number.
Do you trade Conley or Gasol?
You can't. I mean, they still young. I mean, are they really young though?
No, they're
no.
not.
It might be time. It might be time to blow that.
You can get some pieces from.
Yeah, it's time. Maybe it's time to start getting some. You got a young coach. You know, you get a lot of draft picks because both of those dudes are locked into pretty decent deals.
Yeah.
So wherever they go, they're gonna be there for 3 or so years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it might be time to blow that thing up.
All right. So before we go on to the next team, what are we listening to?
Oh, that's that Mad Villainy.
Mad Villainy, baby.
Classic.
Classic.
Thinking about the Boondocks days.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me
a
smile.
lot of chess games been played to this soundtrack.
We give you some battle to that.
All right. I like it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
On to the next. Just had to give the props where it's due.
On to the next. We're going with Charlotte Hornets. Buzz City.
The Jordan Hornets.
Yep, 37-45. I got them, and I think what they have to do is they've had a lot of draft picks, and none of them really turned out to where like they have like another all-star. I think Michael Kidd-Gilchrist has gotten hurt and hasn't been the type of player that they hoped he could be.
Hurt and can't shoot.
Hurt and can't shoot as one of probably the ugliest jump shot in maybe the history of the league. I mean,
no, Bill Cartwright.
I don't know. I got to send you the picture of one of the forms with his elbow. It's kind of like how you shoot sometimes. You know, your elbow on the other side. It's on the other side.
Tell all these people about my jumping.
No, Boog has handles. And
I get that thing in there.
I just tell him to tuck in that elbow. Tuck in that elbow.
I'm from Chicago. We shoot like that.
He got that Ronnie Brewer jump shot, man. Like you did not break your elbow. Like come on, man. Like straighten that out.
Too late. I'm old. Can't change it.
But yeah, Gilchrist, he needs to do something. He needs to step up. Kaminsky, Zeller, like these guys are like they're role players, but they're not like the all-star that you need. Now they got the guy Malik Monk, who I don't think he should have dropped that far in the draft. So if he can be the guy that can be the wing alongside Kemba Walker, like they can do some things. But the reason why I like Charlotte is their defense. Like they're consistent. Steve Clifford has them being like a defensively consistent team. Dwight Howard can at least provide some defensive stability too. So I think they can weasel their way to at 37-45. I have them at the number 7 seed in the East. And they're like comfortable in the playoffs at 37 and 45.
I can see them winning a couple more games, and then I think the key to them is Dwight Howard not returning to All-Star form, but just being a consistent presence in the paint defensively and putbacks. Yeah. I mean, I think he can still be one of the better defenders in the league, ability-wise. So.
He's the blueprint for these big men, the Goldbergs,
and I think Jordan has. This could be a real test for Jordan to develop players. Like have we ever seen his effect on players yet? You know what I mean? Like this is one of these can be the staple moments in his tutelage where I took a player that fell from grace and I helped him regain some of that form.
I want to see what he can do with Malik Monk. I mean, that kid has the talent to be the next great like shooter in the league. So he's a microwave guy. So
what do you think about his ability to create?
I think he can create. I think he can create off the dribble nice. Like he's super quick. They just didn't really utilize him that much in Kentucky. Like that's what John Calipari is really good at getting you to buy into a role, and they thrive in that role. Like Devin Booker, who knew he could play in the pick and roll? We never knew. Anthony Davis, who knew he had a mid-range jump shot until he got into the league. Like he gets these guys to do what they need to do for them to win championships, and he gets them to buy into playing a role how they're going to be in the league. And I think that's why a lot of those guys are prepared when they come into the league to kind of thrive in their individual situations.
Bryce, you think Kemba Walker got any more growth to his game, or
Kemba Walker?
We've seen the best of him
because he's sitting at what 25? He's 20.
He was probably about 27.
27 now?
He spent some time in college.
Yeah.
Did he play 3 in college?
3.
He played
He
3.
was money over there.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
the problem.
is there still room for his game? I mean, like, not as far as adding new skills and tricks, but can he take it to another level?
It's all about if you
or is this where he is?
how do you utilize the pieces around you? And when you're talking about that team, how many pieces do you have around to actually utilize? We've seen pretty much, I think, what we're going to see from him, unless, again, you put some other pieces around him to where, kind of like other players, like we play with Braun, they get this other level pulled out of them because
they get a
they're like,
boost.
yeah.
It would have been nice if he went to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Kyrie wasn't going
But
to Charlotte.
yeah, exactly. But you're not gonna get that in Charlotte. You're not gonna get a player like that with him. So no, I don't think he has growth. But that would be the only option, or the only real like plausible outcome is you put some other players around this man that makes him want to be better than he's already shown us he can be.
I think he plays good with Batum, but I think the reason why I have them not winning as many games is because Batum is out.
Yeah, he's out. He's gonna be
I
out.
think Batum is a
Do we
good
know
guy.
how deep that is?
It's because it's with his elbow
Injury
They said
report.
he's like
Nikola
he's
Batum.
he avoided surgery, so he's not gonna need surgery. It's about an 8 to 12 week injury, but we'll see.
How many games is that? 8 weeks.
That's
That's
he's
20
getting
months.
around
That's 20,
early
20
October.
games.
Quarter of the
24
season
games.
right there.
Yeah, early October, so then he's gonna take a little bit of time.
Games
And see, the
start
thing
early
about
October.
Batum, like, and this is the reason why Portland traded him, because he didn't bounce back from that wrist injury. When he hurt his wrist at the
No,
beginning of
that
the
was
season,
it.
like he never bounced back. So like my fear with him is that he never gets into his groove there.
He won't get
in
into
the
it
season.
soon enough.
Yeah, because I think the best seasons he's had is like when he was over there for the French national team and really getting his confidence up, and he uses that to catapult him to a good season. I don't think he has that momentum, and he can be an inconsistent type of player. So
It was those back-to-back years. It was his final year in Portland, and then he got that paycheck.
That first one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you saw it was the second year, because first it was the thumb, and then it was the wrist. But on the wrist is
Wrist messed up his shooting.
he came back quicker, but it was done. He had it wasn't just the shot. He used to take it to the hole too.
He lost his confidence. I think he got a lot of murmurs in the crowd when he was shooting too. Like
Portland, you're
They're
right.
like-
And
And speaking of Portland, that's the next team. They're still looking for a small forward to replace them.
what you
And they're
mean?
still-
Y'all got Evan Turner.
And they're still looking for a small forward to replace him. And defensive consistency, like that's what he provided, and that's what this team needs. I think Portland fans would be happy if they got some defense on their squad. Like Nurkic is talking about being the bad boys. Like the bad boys play defense.
Well,
And I love you, CJ. I love you, Danny.
And they were extra like physical. You know what I mean? Like not even just
Specifically, right.
defense, not just playing good defense, but they were extremely physical. The game doesn't allow that kind of game. One and two, nobody on that team has that genetic makeup.
No, they like to get
Like, so
buckets.
that's
They can
like-
get buckets all day.
That's true. And I love the Mama's boys, man.
The Mama's boys are dope.
Between CJ McCollum and then what's your beef? Come on, B. What's your beef? Because I like
This
them
is boy.
boys.
Hey, Rip City.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah,
have.
what should be?
Should I show them what player is on here?
No, man, no.
Because I
It's
mean,
tough enough.
it's LaMarcus Aldridge.
What
You
should-
probably could trade for him for 10 cents on the dollar because the Spurs are trying to get rid of him. You might trade him
Come on home.
Evan Turner
Come
and
on
Noah
home.
Vonleh. The Spurs, you listening? You
He
want
shouldn't
him?
have left.
What's up with your squad?
No,
man?
my issue is the same. We already touched on it. It's focus. We know you've got a backcourt that can score real well.
We saw it in
we
the
saw
playoffs.
it. We saw it. I mean, you let off Dame and CJ for 2 quarters against the best team in the league, and they showed you they can hit buckets. But they also showed you already knew they don't play no D. They don't play no D, and to get anywhere beyond, especially the top 4, let's say, of the West, which at this point is now arguably the top 6 of the entire NBA, is defense, and unless that dramatically changes, and yeah, we're gonna have more of a presence down underneath. Awesome, great, but to even reference the bad boys,
It couldn't be a worse comparison.
No,
Man.
why? And I like the enthusiasm. I think it was more of like a fan plug.
No, it was Nurkic said it.
No. I meant like to get the fan. I know.
But Nurkic he didn't even see him play. I mean, I just think
Yeah.
that was lazy.
I think it
Like,
was
that
more
a
of like,
lazy-
I'm gonna get the fans excited
Yeah,
about this.
like
'cause-
that we don't.
And then they're gonna have that. I think what they need is they have a glut of power forwards,
Nah.
and I think Portland's always been a team, or always been a franchise that's able to build up power forwards from Rasheed to Brian Grant to Zach Randolph, LaMarcus Aldridge. They've always had a great power forward that they build up from the draft. They have a bunch of them right now. They got Swanigan. They got I was gonna say Myers Leonard, but we'll move on. They got Zach Collins, who they drafted. Noah Vonleh I think he's pretty much out the door. One of these guys, they has to emerge. It might look like Swanigan might be the best bet, but we'll see. They need a power forward there, and they need somebody on the wing that can actually hit some jumpers. Their bench. What scares me about this team is their bench. And that's I got them at 41 and 41.
And the bench is getting paid.
The bench is getting paid, and they got rid of one of the bench players though that got him Crab. As much as I wasn't like a fan of Alan Crab.
You paid him, and he didn't hit those shots. I mean,
he didn't.
He
but he got you at least 11,
he
12
spread
points
us out a
game.
little bit, but not
not consistently.
No, exactly. You
The
knew
one
you
game
could
I
still
called him
play
out,
in.
man.
That's a lot of money for
I called him out.
somebody
He had that 6'3". I was bashing Alan Crab one day, and then I was at a bar with him, and next thing you know, Alan Crab had the game of his life.
Yeah, put up 6 threes.
But that was it. So I had them battling.
Why can't we get some talent here, man? I don't get it. It's a growing city.
You can't argue now that it's because it's a small market team, because you've seen other small market teams pull players now.
And like, especially on the trade,
The
like,
Melo thing.
like, come on, yo, like, what's
Melo,
going on?
Melo, you're comfortable going OKC.
We lost
but you don't
Melo
want
to
to come to
OKC.
Portland. Like,
It's kind of like
how
what
are
we
you
talked
so,
about with
like-
Kevin Durant, like when he's making his decision, like,
Yeah.
you don't want to go play with these two killers?
the decision should have been made already when they should have just drafted him in the first place.
That's a fact, but we don't want to go.
I don't want to talk
all the way
about
back
that
there.
either.
No,
I don't want to talk about that either.
That hurts.
he probably he might have left and just played with LeBron at that time though. We wouldn't know.
Hey, shout out to Greg. Man.
Oh, Odin.
Man.
Gio.
Next team, so I think it's gonna.
I don't give him the Geo anymore. I just call him Greg.
Gregory.
Just Gregory.
Sam
Yeah.
Sam Booty.
Thanks a lot, Gregory.
I would call
Hey,
him,
thanks a lot, Kevin.
I will call him Gregory Hines, but he
That was
He
Kevin.
starts tap dancing.
That was
he
Kevin's
might say
rich.
it's me.
Hey,
You know?
man, that man.
And he said he never swayed from
That-
it either. It
that-
was Greg Oden from day one.
Yeah, no.
Like, it was never. They didn't even need to bring Kevin Durant in. He was sold.
Kevin
Bro,
Durant.
I meant
can
Kevin,
we-
as in
if
to
we're gonna
backtrack
dive
about
into
the
this,
shot caller there.
That's what I'm saying.
That was Pritchard.
let's
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was saying that it was pretty much Greg Oden from day one.
Yeah.
let's just dive into just a second, because Kevin Durant. They even said that Kevin Durant had one of the most impressive workouts
That they'd ever seen.
And I'm a Buckeye fan. I love Ohio State.
I can't.
One, Greg Oden, when he was there in the Buckeyes, I never saw him dribble. Not one time did I see him dribble. Two, at the combine, he got red flagged at the combine. There's never been a number one player that drafted in the league that was red flagged at the combine. One leg was significantly larger. He was having back problems. Like, there was red flags
All
with
over the
Greg
place.
Oden. They're like, no, hands down, we need to take a center. You know, they had a bunch of big men at that time. They had big men. They had LaMarcus. They had Zach Randolph at the time. Like, they had some killers. They needed a small forward because they had Travis Outlaw as their starting small forward.
I remember there's a lot of
You would've
love
put-
for Travis Outlaw. They thought he was the next.
Not
one.
here.
Man.
Not here. Travis Outlaw stayed up at some condo out in Tualatin. And I always saw him out and about at the Tualatin Commons, Lake Commons. And this dude, just all talk. I'm like, man, you were at a karaoke bar in Tualatin, Oregon, bro.
Damn.
Why are you here acting hard? Work on the shot. Work on the
Work on the
defense.
side.
Like,
Work on all facets of your game.
yeah, all of
Slide
it.
your feet, B.
Slide.
Use your lane.
Yeah.
Like, you're 6'9"
Come
with
on.
it. Come on.
Hey, block his pass. You
Do
don't have to take the
something.
ball. Just say no. You can't shoot up here. No, you can't make that pass.
So let's no more T-Law. No more like.
Let's outlaw him from the conversation.
Yeah.
So we're gonna slide to the next team.
Yeah, it was
so
too much time on Portland. Sorry,
we got Rip
Blazers.
City, man. We're gonna give them some love. We're
It
gonna
is.
probably have like a week. We'll every we
Hey.
don't touch on Portland enough.
I was just saying,
So we're gonna do it more.
you already know when the Hammer gets back,
Yeah.
we'll have a segment where Jake will probably go into too many stats about
We
where
need to touch
Portland's
on
at,
Portland more.
why
We're gonna
Portland's
cover-
not going to make the play.
We're gonna cover you
Or,
guys, and that's
uh,
why I got them at 41-41. I have them battling for
I
the last
appreciate that.
playoff spot.
We appreciate that.
And I have that with Minnesota. Now I kind of want to put Minnesota higher. I really did. Now Minnesota, we thought everybody thought Minnesota was gonna make the league last year. By getting to 41-41, that's like a 13-14 game improvement from last year.
I
So
don't
that's
give
pretty.
a- yeah, I don't-
That's pretty significant. That's pretty significant. So like getting up.
You think
to
Soda's
the
going to make that
18
jump?
I think-
Really?
When I first like during the summer, like I was super excited. So I'm curious to see because you.
I know
probably
we've
surprised
been
I haven't
talked
right here.
about. I don't.
I like during the
think
summer,
games.
like I was stoked about them getting Jimmy Butler,
Yeah.
them getting them getting Taj Gibson. They lost a bunch of leads during the season.
Tibbs just went out and
I mean,
got his
during last
players.
season.
He got his
He
players
just
back.
went out and got his
he got
players
his
back.
guys, and so
Yeah.
you're gonna get the defensive consistency, hopefully, from this team. But if you put them at 47 wins, that's a 20 game improvement. Like we haven't seen. The only time you really seen that is like I think when Jason Kidd went to Brooklyn,
Didn't OKC
or when New Jersey.
Didn't OKC have a big lead like that?
They had a huge lead. Like that, but I was like, just Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. They just arrived.
Yeah,
on
they
the
just.
scene.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Like,
what I mean. That was
yeah.
that was a jump.
So I think you seen it with OKC, which is a good one. The Nash's Phoenix Suns.
What's
Brooklyn's-
bully is that happened the year they up and left. It would have meant
Yeah.
so much more to see Seattle
Yeah,
go through something
yeah.
like that to
Yeah,
actually watch their
yeah.
franchise because they
Oh,
had
they
already.
knew, but they already knew that was
Yeah,
going to
I
happen.
know, I know.
That's what made them sick,
Like,
man.
It
like,
was brutal though.
Because you had what it took to
Yeah.
invest in.
Yep.
You had the talent to make the investment
It
worthwhile.
was just crazy that it
Right
came,
there. Like,
it
it
came
wasn't
down to
even
Portland and Seattle
future.
with the
Yeah.
1 and the 2.
And David Stern pulled the grimiest move taking that team away. So,
That's a fact.
but back to Minnesota though.
David Stern was a grimy dude.
He was.
David
He
Stern.
took
he
Chris
Quote me,
Paul.
David.
He took Chris Paul away from the Lakers. I'm still
Well, he
bitter.
gave Pat-
He's
I'm
still-
still bitter
He
about
gave
that.
y'all Pat though.
Man, that's a gift and a curse. It seems like I love Patrick. I love you, Patrick. I love you.
Come on, what else
But-
you would have done?
But come
All right.
on, man, you gotta dunk that ball. You can't finger roll that.
After
You can't finger
Minnesota,
roll
who
that.
we got?
So
But Minnesota, like, I think They have, we got to talk about Minnesota because you think they're going to make it to the playoffs for the first time since KG left, and I think that's what's going to make them happy. Is their fan base. What type of rise is Karl Anthony Towns? Is he going to make that leap? And how good is Jimmy Butler going to make it? Like, what is Jimmy Butler going to provide for this
So
squad?
I think they'll go higher than 41. 40. I actually got them at about
Wow.
40, 46.
I feel
I got them between 46 and 48
these
wins.
dudes got me feeling like I'm lacking in the basketball IQ right now
And the
because
reason-
I do
no,
not
no,
give them
no,
this much credit.
I can understand the skepticism, but the reason why I believe it because I saw firsthand Jimmy Butler leading a very lukewarm Chicago team in the East
Is it?
by himself to 41 games.
So this ultimately is the fact Tibbs put together.
His guys, boys.
Absolutely. And then
His
you
guys,
think
boys,
about the
guys.
natural progression of Karl Anthony Towns, what he's supposed to do. So if he makes a small improvement
Yeah.
statistically from what he did last
already
year,
a beast.
that's plus 10 wins.
I mean, Tibbs was coaching.
You know what I mean?
Tibbs was coaching those dudes as kids. It's just at
I mean,
this point,
GMs are talking about
compared.
if you're going to build a team, they poll the GMs. They change it every year, but this year was they picked Karl
They
Anthony
picked him
Towns.
last year too.
So are they picking last
yeah,
year's
last year too. Karl Anthony Towns was the one that they said they started the franchise with today, given it certain things.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, age, contract, potential blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Greek freak.
So you add all of those things in, and then you add somebody like Jimmy Butler that has a huge chip on his shoulder since the day he was born. I mean, between, you know, growing up being kicked out of his crib early, moving place to place, not being heralded out of high school, being drafted last in the first round. He had to work for everything he got to the point where he's a bona fide all-star. Last year, he was an all-star starter.
Yeah.
Now, Chicago telling you ain't good enough as an all-star starter, one of the best two-way players in the game at the most important position in the game at the wing. And then you go put me with the guy. You go put me with the guy that put me on to
now.
a team that needs me and a team that wants to sign me eventually to a long term. I think you put all those
I still
together.
can't believe they got Jimmy. They gave Tibbs Jimmy Butler.
They
ran Tibbs out of town.
I didn't think that
and
would.
they
I
gave
didn't
him
think he
his
would ever
phone-
go to
his-
Minnesota
his phone.
just because Tibbs was there. Like I think that was. I thought they would have.
You gave him his golden child,
If
man. That's his
the
dude.
Timberwolves could have offered them the best deal in the league, and I just knew for sure my management wasn't going to take it because of the Tibbs connection. But to keep it moving forward, if Jimmy Butler is who he is, Karl Anthony Towns make that lead, and Andrew Wiggins can somehow get motivated.
Play
Generally,
Just play
there's
some
a
D,
sense of
Wiggins.
complacency after you sign that long-term deal, right? You already got your money. So what is it to play for? Well, let's play for a little bit of pride. You know what I'm saying? Like become that player, or at least 80% of that player that you were supposed to be.
Like, look, Wiggins. You don't have to. You don't have to facilitate. You don't have to pass. You don't have to rebound. Two things: get buckets on one end, stop the other dude on the other.
And again,
like you should be a
you
lockdown
don't have
defender.
to steal the ball. You don't have to block
Just
the shot.
lock down.
Just say this is gonna be a bad shot if you shoot this.
Just be there.
And that's gonna be a bad pass if you make it. And you're not going this way.
Who has more defensive like skill wise? Like he should be amongst the elite.
And
like,
I think they
with
find
that
out-
type of speed
And that
and
final lineup is gonna be one to reckon with at the end of the game.
I would say that they have a real slim bench.
It's as slim as Jamal Crawford is.
Yeah.
It's as slim as it
is.
is. Like,
But you have Tibbs as the coach. So we all know Tibbs gonna play you 43 minutes anyway, so who needs the bench?
yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna get all these
You're
minutes.
gonna get these
Yeah.
minutes.
You're gonna
So
get these minutes.
41 and 41, I got them vying for the last spot.
Won't be
in
today,
the
guys.
playoffs.
47 wins.
47 wins, man.
All right.
So the next team we got is we taking our talents to South Beach. Miami, they dominated the league in the second half of the season, and just barely missed the playoffs. I think with getting Justice Winslow back, getting some extra improvement. They got Bam Abanye, Bam from Kentucky, Kelly Olynyk, who had an amazing playoff run, unlike
Yeah.
had an amazing game.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say
Game
run.
7. To add, he's not gonna move the needle too much, but at least he'll provide
He's a
some
quality
some-
player.
Yeah, he'll
He's
provide
definitely gonna bring some quality
depth
play.
for that. And I just think I just believe in Eric Spoelstra as a coach, man. Like he's done a lot of great things. Even before LeBron came, I think one of the most impressive years they had is when it was basically just
D-Wade.
like D Wade there, and he got him to 47 wins, and I thought he had a better season than LeBron that year. I thought he was the MVP, but
I mean, that
nobody
just
really
goes to
listened
that
year,
that
but-
goes to that Miami culture. You know what I'm saying?
Riley.
They're team first, which can rub some people the wrong way, but it helps make the culture. They've been able to escape being the worst in the league, even though they lost LeBron.
We thought they were tanking last
Then
year.
they lost,
Like-
then they lost Chris Bosh to his illness, and then
Yeah.
D-Wade left for Chicago, and they still managed to be, they made the playoffs.
It was something like they were like
Oh,
11.
they did make the playoffs.
They were just
They
like
almost
Yeah,
made
they
it.
almost made
They were
it.
like, I think they started off like 11 and 30,
Yeah, and
then went on, and then they were 30 and 11.
Yeah.
It's like
And it was literally they got out the playoffs the last week of the season.
last game. So I think this year they're gonna start off a little bit more consistent. Waiters is being the player that he was projected to be after 4 or 5 different after three
Bryce,
spots.
A couple
So-
years later.
So Bryce, what kind of
Couple years later for Dion.
jump does
Whiteside?
Whiteside and Winslow?
I like Whiteside.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about that run at the end of the season last year? It's because Whiteside just started balling
focus.
out, man. Yeah, it was on both sides of the ball though.
Yeah.
It's like that's another thing. You see the health and then the age and the development carry into this season what you saw at the end of last. I'll give you that record for sure. But
I think that's the number 6.
That's
in the East.
There's no depth there at all. That's a lot. Like that's the same thing as we were talking about Jimmy. We're gonna get a lot of minutes.
Well, I mean, I think they got some wings there. They got Josh Richardson, who's pretty.
And Whiteside went
good.
down last year with that was so. I mean,
Dragic was a monster last year.
He had to be.
He stepped.
He had to
stepped.
be.
He started off slow and he got his groove there. They have a weird mix, but it just
They got a core group of solid players, not stellar, but they work hard.
They're the
And
team
I
in
guess
the East that gets to hide, and I feel like they'll be slowly sneaking their way back into that.
I think
into
they're
that cusp
they're
of
gonna
like,
be consistent enough to really win against the bottom level teams. In the
Yeah,
East. They might not beat the teams in the West, but like the East, I think
Yeah.
they're gonna be able to beat up on the New Yorks and the Brooklyns and the
Well, that's
and
a
the,
given.
and the Bulls of the world. So I think that's what gets them a little
and
bit
the
over
Kings.
500.
And I think they're going to be, that whole model of, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Like, they got a bunch of those unsung players, and they just locked them all up.
Second
too.
round
Well, that's what I mean.
draft picks,
Like, I
man.
feel like
That's playing for their
Josh
lives.
Richardson,
and they got a
second
taste of
rounder.
what it feels
Tyler
like,
Johnson,
though. Like
yeah.
that run at the end of last year, and I'm sure there's some bitterness for sure because it didn't come down to I don't think the last game. I think it was like
last week.
yeah, it was last week. I'm not sure if it came down to like the last game.
I know
But
Indiana.
that builds that
And it's-
bitterness
and it's-
up coming into the next
and
season.
it's Waiters County now, too, so.
Yeah.
It's Waiters
I love Waiters, man. Waiters is dope.
He's one of those irrational confidence guys.
I was mad at him.
Yeah,
He thinks
we
he's
know.
Mike.
Yeah,
He does think he's Mike.
He think he's Mike.
He didn't want Kyrie. He was like, "Yo, man, they already got an alpha year, man."
Yeah, he's like,
this
as long as he
dude
said
got
he
a
can
lot
come, as long as he know, ain't gonna be no
man.
funny business when he get here.
I'm the star.
Like that, this is my team. As long as he know that.
He was like, "Wait, you can go. I don't care if you win
I know Pat
championships."
Riley was like, well,
Like-
if you don't shut the hell up right now.
Yeah. So next up, now there's gonna be like a glut of teams here. The next like 3 teams that can flip flop, and I think you can even put Minnesota and Portland in this glut of teams there, because I think
Are we
there's
talking
not
West
too-
or are we talking?
Yeah, this is West.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a
okay,
runoff
okay.
of some West teams. So starting, I mean, we can just go basically these 3 teams: Utah, Denver, and the Clippers. And I have them basically 44 and 38 for Denver and the Clippers, and Utah 43 and 39.
I would
my
see
argument-
that and change that right there just from the Utah D alone.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm excited to watch it again this year.
Utah?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
defense.
definitely.
I mean, that's why. They won 50 games last year.
Yeah.
And they lost Gordon Hayward, but
Yeah.
and I think
I
I
wish
got
he
him
would have
as.
stayed.
I think he would. I wish he would have stayed too.
For more than one reason of me not being a Boston fan in any way, but just the fan that like what I saw last year was exciting.
Y'all was building something.
Yeah,
Hey, they could have been in the
I've
upper.
never-
And it was organic. I mean,
I've
they did
never
really good. They did
drafted.
really good
They drafted everybody.
Yeah, everybody
They
was
drafted
drafted.
everybody.
I feel like
But I think-
you're a Blazer fan if you go out your way to avoid Utah games, and I have my entire life, right?
That's a fact.
I definitely
I enjoyed
made
to
an
watch,
effort
yeah.
to tune in last year.
They were a fun team to watch.
And I didn't really care if it was even more so when I watched them play on the East because they were beating. They were beating up on the East. So that was really kind of the potential where it's like, okay, carry this into some of the top 4 on the West and see how you do. And some of those games they walked out with, others obviously we know what happened, but they're gonna be fun this year. I think even without
43 and 39, I think it might be too low.
like I said,
I don't know, because I mean,
I didn't feel comfortable with it, but
I like the point guard move with Rubio, but they lost Exum.
there was some drama behind that too.
Yeah, but Exum never really. He's had some solid minutes, but he's never really been on that team. Like he's never been key contributor. I think Rodney Hood is gonna take that scoring punch from Gordon Hayward. I think Rodney Hood.
20, you think?
I think Rodney Hood
Is he gonna
and
be
Donovan Mitchell.
You
Those are
have
the
to.
guys.
But I mean, if it takes 2 people to get you the
To
production
offset
of
him,
one, then that's never good.
I think Rodney Hood could be a 17 point scorer, and I think Donovan Mitchell could probably get you around 14, 15 his rookie
I
year.
think
He's
that's-
looked pretty solid.
That's a lot for a rookie.
What are
It's
the
a
other
lot
two?
in the West.
You said you had two other teams lumped in right the same. What was the other two?
Denver and
So Denver and the Clippers.
Clips, okay.
So with Denver, I just like Denver has a lot of depth, and I think that's a key team that they have like 8 rotation big men, like so many big men there with Jokic and Fareed, Paul Millsap, who they just signed.
Yeah.
They got Herman Gomez. They're all like they have a lot of guys that they can end up
that are
trading. They can end up interchangeable and need minutes.
Points, yeah.
Miles
Points in the game.
Plumlee, Mason Plumlee. They have a lot of big men. So
They
for
have
what
a
he
lot
does,
of- yeah, they have a lot.
He does.
they have a lot of big men. I
Yeah.
think what they're going to do is going to be an interesting team because they're going to run their offense through Jokic. So I think Denver fans will be happy if Jokic becomes a superstar. So you're going to run your offense through your point
It'll
center.
just be interesting to see that
you know what they-
lineup play
It
with
is.
the other Wests that run.
But they run you at home. They'll run you with the altitude.
With the
they run you to
altitude.
Yeah,
death.
no, I get
They
that. I
have-
get
they
that,
run-
I
they're
get
like a
that.
10,
I mean,
12,
that's any Denver team,
12
any
deep.
sport right there. Why would you not?
But I got a problem with that point guard situation they got there, man. I mean,
I was just about to ask you.
Jameer Nelson, who
No,
like,
I don't think he's. I think they're gonna. So what do you think
so
about?
they giving the keys to Moutier
So no, Moutier, and I
Murray?
like Moutier coming out of college, but he's been
Yeah.
pretty disappointed.
Yeah.
I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna start
real quick, how pissed off we was draft night that the Knicks went with Porzingis over Moutier.
Yeah. I recall this. I recall this.
This is true. This is true.
Note it.
It was some.
Sorry, Porzingis. I was mad when they drafted. I was mad. Anyways,
I digress.
I digress. Jokic is going to be the point center, so you're going to do a lot of facilitating through him. Now, what do you think about having guards who can still play make? I think you're going to start Gary Harris and Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, I think, has a lot of. He's not a pure point guard, but he does
not a
have.
point guard at all.
At all.
He's not a pure. He's
I've
not,
never seen him make a pass.
No, Jamal Murray can surprise you off the pick and roll. Now that's another guy over there in Kentucky where they're like, yo, just get money. I remember seeing him at the Nike Summit when he came here, and I was like, that kid's gonna be nice. He dropped like 30. I was going to see Ben Simmons, and I ended up Ben Simmons and Thon Maker, and Jamal Murray was the guy who I loved out of that game. And I think they can unleash some of his playmaking skills, use his shooting, and then have Jokic and Paul Millsap be a lot of guys. They're such smart players that I think they can run an offense. And it's funny because you got a point center, and I think with the Clippers, you're gonna have a point forward with Blake Griffin. Now you don't have to worry about Chris Paul. It's like they were better. Like Blake Griffin was better when Chris Paul was off the court.
Yeah.
Chris Paul
was better when Blake was off the court. So now that they have gotten some depth, they got some defense to go along. Defense, and they finally got a small forward with Gallinari and Decker. So they finally filled that gap. And I think Patrick Beverly is going to be a nice addition to go along with DeAndre Jordan. That create like a real defensive. And Lou Williams off the bench who can replace Jamal Crawford. Austin Rivers is a really good defender.
At this point.
Yes, he is. He's more of a microwave than Jamal Crawford. So I think that those teams right there can be interchangeable, depending on health with the Clippers, because they always seem to get hurt.
So and you do it too, Bryce. Do your three in order: Utah, Denver, and Clippers.
Yeah, I definitely have Utah with the better record.
Utah.
Yeah. And here's I'll put Denver in the middle just because of the potential from last year and the pickups.
Yeah.
But I can't see, and it's true. Paul always played better when he was down, and vice versa. But I do not see Blake carrying the squad like we knew when he went down. CP3 could.
Yeah.
Like I just don't.
He's always hurt. He gets hurt.
Every year, every year.
Barring injury, I got Clippers with the best record out there. Yeah. I like that. I mean, just the
The injury does it for me.
Just
I feel like that.
the defensive ability of Patrick Beverly and DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
So what you're essentially doing is locking down not locking down, but making it difficult for the most important positions in the game.
Yeah.
And I see you. That's why I give Utah my bump is the defense.
The defense.
And I agree on that.
But see, I just think the star power.
But you're talking 2 to 3 players that are prominently great defenders.
But I think about the star.
Felt like Utah was across the board. That was like what their butter was.
But who's going to score?
Like it's like
and then
but who's going to
Hayward
score
was.
points?
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
Blake Griffin is 20 a game.
it is kind of hard because when you look
DeAndre
at
Jordan
Utah,
is 13 and 15 a game.
the thing with Utah, the argument against Utah is right there. You had Gordon Hayward, he was your go-to scorer. Now you're really relying upon Rodney Hood, Donovan Mitchell,
Spread out a little bit more.
Rookie.
Sure.
Joe Johnson is probably there.
And
Still their
Joe
goal.
Johnson is 42.
Yeah,
There's multiple players.
I think he might be the starting power forward.
Multiple players that you got to get the production from, and you can pencil that in for Blake Griffin. Like unproven versus proven.
True.
For the odds, I got to get. And then plus, Blake Griffin got a new deal.
Yeah.
He's the face of the franchise.
No, he knows.
He's-
I'm not
he's the
saying.
guy.
I'd love to see him.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So these are my
I think he's
rationale.
gonna get unleashed. That's why
He's rejuvenated. I ain't got to worry about.
My thing is when he
Faking
gets.
with those guys,
I've
the
seen him
grumpy old
unleashed,
man.
and that's the
That's all
problem.
the
Every time
grumpy
we see him unleashed,
old
he gets
dude,
hurt.
man.
That's true.
That's my thought. Is
But-
I've seen Blake unleashed, and it is crazy.
But what he's not going to be doing
But he
is,
always gets hurt from
But
it.
what he's not going to be doing is, he's brittle. But what he's not going to be doing is the dunks every time.
No,
Like his
no.
game offensively.
Lob City
has
won't be
gotten
Lob
more-
City anymore.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
he had
not
a little
as, it's
step
not as
back.
refined. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen this dude doing all kind of
And so he did a little in and out step back on the corner. I was like, okay.
And he's trouble.
He has crazy
and
handles.
he's still.
Probably his busiest offseason because he
He's
knew
gonna
he
be
had
a mon-
to.
I
And
think
we
he's
talk
gonna be a
about all
monster
of these
this year.
guys that are going to the floor this year. Like, so you talking about, I got Melo sticking me in the. Man, give me that ball.
Yeah.
Barbecue
You know what I'm
chicken.
saying? Like, Blake Griffin is
Remember
still
that.
6'9".
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be a problem for all these little stretch power forwards.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right.
I think they're gonna. It's gonna
So
be
that's
fun.
what
I agree. I think I go. How I have it here. I got Clippers having a better record. Well, I have Clippers and Denver having the same record, and then Utah. I mean, an eight game digress from last year. I'm not feel comfortable with Utah, but
Yeah. Like I said,
it's gonna be interesting.
mine's
It's gonna be
taking-
interesting.
I
Because
definitely.
Minnesota can be in that discussion
Yep.
too. Like he has to have
47,
47.
baby.
So.
I think all like you said, almost all 5 of those teams
it's going to be rough.
could have an
It's
interesting
gonna be rough.
Yeah.
It's
second
gonna
half
be
or
rough.
closing 30 games.
We're going to
And then-
see some regular season games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking like playoffs.
because
Yeah.
they all count.
It's gonna be tough.
They count.
Like
It's
the
gonna be tough.
Pacific Division actually is gonna be fun again. Like
And we can.
count.
you already know OKC is gonna just put it on them.
We're
but
gonna
like,
get to them. We're
You
gonna
you
get to
have the other 3 teams are really fun to watch.
Legitimate.
Yeah,
That's
like
those.
and it's been a minute. Actually,
That's
I don't know if
5.
it's ever been where I'm like, damn, all 4
We talking
teams.
like-
That's 5 teams
We're
right
talking,
there.
We're talking like late 90s.
yeah.
Late 90s.
It's crazy.
Like this
thing
whole
is
region,
crazy.
all this,
Seattle,
all the
Portland,
cities up here.
Sacramento.
There was that one
Who
year.
else is in the division?
That's it.
Seattle.
It's Utah, Seattle, Denver, us. and-
Yeah,
and-
Utah,
and
Utah,
Yeah,
Denver,
late
OKC,
90s.
and Portland.
That was rough.
All in
Yeah.
the same division.
That was rough.
fun.
That's craziness.
It was lit up here though. I mean, those series.
Those are fun.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, the regular season games between division rivals back in the late '90s, especially,
Yeah.
they were chippy.
I think I
Like,
care
they
more
were-
about,
they
I
were
think I care
loud
more
and they
about
were
the
chippy.
conference rival versus the division.
The division.
Because it's going to be it's because they played almost on the
Yeah.
it's going to matter that I have the tiebreaker
Yep.
between me and you.
Yeah, you and the divisional. Yeah, exactly.
Not so much the
It
conference.
is. It is.
Yeah.
It's gonna really come down to.
No, I can't. It's gonna be
And so
first time in a long time. I agree that the Pacific Division is actually gonna be like
it's gonna be nice.
it's worth tuning in, not just checking
League
scores.
Pass is going to be lit
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it is.
League Pass
I'm getting it right away.
on the West.
So like, but this is like we're gonna have like a run
Clarify.
through some of the East. Like we just ran through. I didn't notice I did this, but yeah, 3 teams in a row from the East, and I think
It's
can
all
kinda-
about the record,
you can kind
and
of.
not the quality of the team.
Yeah, I mean, I have Washington having like clear cut. I got them at about 49 and 33. I got Washington
Sitting
But then-
above in that next
year. But you got Toronto with 46 and 36, and then Milwaukee with 45 and 37. And I think
Milwaukee, man. I can't.
uh-oh.
No.
Yeah.
I'm excited for
Oh, they
Milwaukee.
figured it out now.
man.
They missing a player.
Tell them what I told you about the Greek Freak, man.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So years ago, I was
You
wrong
jinxing
about,
him this
I
year?
was, no, I was wrong about Greek Freak.
All right. Well, this man.
I was absolutely wrong about Greek Freak. I had Greek
Tell
Freak.
him.
I had Greek Freak wrong, and I had Steph Curry wrong. This is my
But tell him about the
two-
Greek Freak, man.
Yeah, draft time.
I told him he was going to be.
draft
I
time.
told you he was going to
But
respond.
here's the thing, man.
I
like,
called
you
it
remember,
from the get-go. He was like, "You're crazy."
But do you remember?
He didn't even like the Greek Freak because I used to talk about him all the time.
It's true, but do you remember the
They hyped
highlights?
him so hard,
You remember the highlights they had of him before he came?
Yeah,
to
that's
the
what I said. They hyped him.
He was playing against me.
Yeah, he was.
Like, did you
crazy.
see
Yeah.
like who he was playing
He
against, and them clips, them grainy
I thought it was Frank
VHS
Rice.
clips? I'm like, how can I believe this guy? There's nobody above 6 feet.
Playing Euro
Yeah,
ball,
it's like Will
killing
It's like Will
everybody.
Chamberlain playing against a team without a center.
Hey, he's doing
Like,
Will
look-
Chamberlain type things
Yeah.
now.
And guess what? I was
Hey.
wrong. I would have lost my
I just
job.
liked. I don't know. I just liked. I saw him in
would've lost
summer
my
league.
job.
I
would've lost my
liked
job.
him.
But moving forward.
So I think
Moving forward.
their fan base will be happy if he won Kobe offered him the challenge, be the MVP.
They should have signed.
He
Derrick
kind of
Rose.
baited him to doing that, but
They
he
should have
got.
signed Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
They should have signed.
I
him.
mean,
They should have
You
signed
need
him.
another player.
And this is
You
my
need more
so
space.
You need another player.
Yeah.
my beef for Milwaukee is that they didn't do anything to improve themselves this year.
No.
All they did, they drafted DJ Wilson, but that's pretty much all they did.
That's
And
not.
so,
That's not.
Well,
It's
a
not-
draft pick don't consider, especially when
Yeah.
it's at like the
17,
Yeah, I don't
17.
think that's not an
You
improvement.
just were in line to
You
get
shuffled.
another player. Yeah.
So all it's basically internal growth with them. So is Brogdon?
That's what they're banking on.
That's what they're
Yeah.
banking on. And is Brogdon going to take
Brogdon's
that?
at his ceiling.
I like Brogdon.
Brogdon's at his ceiling. Like Brogdon, what we
think
saw
he can
from
do better.
Brogdon, no, I don't see him being. Well, any a 4-year guy too?
He's a 4-year. Jimmy Butler was a 4-year guy.
Yeah, but Jimmy Butler's 6'7".
Brogdon's 6'6".
Is he that tall?
Yeah, he's a big
Is
one.
he?
Yes, 6'5", 6'6".
I don't see it in the game. I think
You already giving him an
I
inch.
think he is who
Yeah,
I think,
6'5", 6'6".
I think he is who he is, and at best he'll be a steady veteran. I don't see him breaking out to be more than what he is now.
I like how they have the length. So their lineup they're gonna run.
But he is a big
Brogdon.
point. I thought he's like 6'4".
Yeah, he's like 6'5", 6'6". You got Middleton who can create is a wet jumper. He's 6'8". You got Antetokounmpo who's 7 feet. You
7'1".
got Tony Snell who's like 6'8". And you got Thon Maker who's 7 or Thon McCurr who's like 7 feet. McKeough. And I think that with that length there, like they can cause some problems on defense. And you saw what they did with that Golden State the last couple of years. Like they match up really good with the upper echelon teams. And I think if the Greek Freak can take that next step and can improve even more so than what he did, I think he can take them to the next level. Maybe catapult them ahead of to Toronto and Washington. And those are two teams also that really didn't do anything to improve themselves. Washington added Jody Meeks, and
Michael added me.
yeah, they added Jody Meeks, and I can't even think that they have another point guard that they added, but it's nothing too significant. So then Toronto, they swapped CJ Miles Corey Joseph for CJ Miles. So
That's an upgrade.
these are more teams that are kind of
That's
like
an upgrade.
That's an upgrade, but I mean Corey Joseph's pretty good, but I think DeLone Wright, who's going to be their backup point, he'll get
But I
more
like
time.
CJ Miles just because I think he's a better shooter, and I think he can create a shot.
Yep.
Not at a consistent start.
Not up to Paul George's level,
Not
because Paul George told him to pass me the ball.
That was a good shot,
That was.
by the way.
You remember we were
that
in
was a
Costa
good shot.
Rica when
That was a
happened.
good shot that CJ Miles took.
Hey,
That was a terrible shot that CJ.
That was a.
CJ Miles should have never taken that
he
shot.
Unfaked him.
That's why he got
around.
traded. He got traded
It
because of
didn't
it.
matter.
You
It
gotta
didn't matter.
go.
We'd already had the
CJ, you better
conversation.
go.
Out. He
We'd already had the
unfaked.
conversation.
He
It
unfaked
didn't matter who
the
took
jump.
the shot. We had the conversation.
Now Paul George, they
Because
said
Paul
he's-
George still hadn't hit a game winner in his
0-17.
flipping career. So 0-17, it didn't really matter who took the shot.
That's a fact.
0-17 in your career, and you're Paul
And
George.
then what did he do after that whole I should be taking the last shot.
He missed.
What happened after
He aired the last
He
shot.
airballed
No. He didn't even air it. He
And
hit the
shout out
side
to
of the backboard.
Gatorade, because I guarantee you, y'all jinxed it. Gatorade put out that ridiculous
Gatorade.
game winner.
And they still played it.
And they
after
still
that.
play,
I would have been
It
in my
was
marketing
like-
department. I was like, yo,
Pull
got
it, pull it.
First of all, he's not gonna be with this team no longer than right now. So we need
He
to
hit
go
the
ahead.
side. I mean, he shot a bullet to the side of the backboard. Like it was just, it was. That was one of the worst game.
No, but it was
time
all. It
shots
only made
I've
it
seen.
worse because of that. Like
It did.
that commercial they aired leading up to the whole. Like it just.
I think he tried too hard. I think he was like,
What
he
were
knew
they-
the commercial was playing.
Yeah,
Like,
oh
that's all
yeah,
right.
hell
That's all
yeah,
right.
you
He
knew
ain't
the
gotta-
commercial.
He ain't got to worry about hitting that shot
So-
this year.
Nope.
Toronto. What about Toronto? Like, I'm so sick
They are who they are.
of Toronto when it comes playoff time. Like they,
But you still got them
get
sitting
everybody
up above
excited.
Milwaukee, so.
Well, because they're still a better team.
Do you
I
think
mean,
they're
their
gonna?
talent is, they got better overall talent.
Still gonna stall the same place it did last
They
year's
just
playoff.
like they when it comes to the playoffs, they just
Second.
don't bring it.
Third, fourth,
All right.
seed.
They don't
I don't
bring
want to
it.
spend too much time on Toronto because
So we're gonna go-
Same with Washington. Is there anything more we can add to Washington
So,
that we haven't already?
So you got to kind of, do you have it? How about have it? Why you think Washington, Toronto, Milwaukee, or you think Milwaukee can?
I think Milwaukee's last.
I think
I think
Milwaukee's
the way,
last.
Yeah.
the way you did it, Toronto and Washington can go like that, just depending on variables.
But it won't matter.
but-
The variables will be the same once you hit second round of the playoffs.
That's a fact. Both of them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're on to the upper echelon of teams. This is the stretch run here, and we
Question,
got.
real quick. I'm sorry. I ain't to interrupt. Back to Washington just for a second.
Yeah.
They make that boogie trade. What does that put Washington?
Okay. That definitely
So
puts them
the
on
trade-
out of the
I mean, but I'm
out
saying,
of the
like,
cusp
does that,
of
does
those
that put them? Does that put them in come out the East?
East Finals.
Of course,
potential?
of course.
Yeah.
You trade
Over
Otto,
Boston?
you trade Otto Porter, Marcin Gortat.
coming out. Like, can they be?
That's what I'm
in
saying.
the first rounder. That could, I mean, Otto Porter, Gortat, first rounder
I would.
for Boogie and Omir Sheik's contract. That works underneath the books. So John Wall and Boogie and Bradley Beal.
That's what I'm saying. You'd put that. You'd put that.
That's a big. That's
Yeah.
that's a big
Yeah.
three in the East, and that can be the team.
Does that big three match up beyond Boston?
I would take
I would
them
take him over Boston.
I'd
The
take him over
I mean, to be honest, the second
But-
put Boogie with Wall,
Yeah.
I don't
I
really
would take
care
him
who
over- I would
else
take
was
him
on.
over
I'd be like,
Boston.
I
Especially the way that Bradley Beal played in the playoffs.
Oh
like,
yeah. We know.
he
And
showed-
Boston doesn't have a big three. For
No.
the record.
No.
They got a big 2.5.
They got a big
No. You're gonna say 2.5?
They got a two.
They got a big 2.
Two. Thank you. There you go.
Sorry,
That's-
Al Hofer. I mean,
Don't apologize.
he's solid though. He's solid, but like 14
He's not
points
a
a
big
game is
three.
not a big three. Okay. Now we're gonna go to San Antonio, who never really had a big three. Well, no, they did have a big three. They had Duncan. They had one of the better. I'm sorry, they had one of the better big
One of the
threes.
big threes.
Yeah. Right now, they don't have a big three.
They have-
And right
They
now,
have a big one.
this is a little harsh because he's on the wall.
No,
But,
man.
but I said, and I have it right here. San Antonio will be happy if this guy finds a heart.
He can't find the heart because that's cruel. That's cruel. I was about to say. I was about
Yeah,
to
my
actually go
problem
at his
too, I'm
physical
sorry.
well-being because he always be having heart problems.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I can't say
I
that.
forgot about that. I
Yeah,
apologize,
no,
Marcus.
no.
I mean, but
I'm
damn
gonna be
it,
LA.
you've been
I ain't
so-
gonna go that hard.
I used to call
Like,
Marcus a 2 guard. I used to use
Man.
always. I never call him power forward. I used to call him a 2 guard.
But yeah, he.
San Antonio fans hate this man right now.
Yeah,
They hate this
they
man.
don't care if he's from Texas.
Like he's probably gonna be number 1 then.
Sure.
Yep.
And then he has to have a
He
conversation with
should've
Popovich
never-
before the
he should've
season.
never left.
He should have stayed in Portland.
No.
So I just don't like. I think San Antonio's a machine. I got them still
But
at
dude,
54.
hold on though.
54 games, 54 wins, 54 and 27.
I'm there with you. I
54 and-
54 and
That doesn't.
yeah, I was like, that don't add up.
55 and 27.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry. 55 and 27. I had to double take.
I'll see that, but I wanna go back. But he should never left. He didn't really have a choice. Portland
Yeah.
did not treat him
They did.
like their all-star, like their star.
They did it.
He had no recognition as compared as on the level that Dame hits.
They
Like,
love. He got pushed to the side. Like for some
and
reason,
this is the only man that kept you relevant.
But here's the thing,
for
that's the Portland mentality. They only can have one star here for whatever reason.
Well, look at right
They
now.
only
Now we're
support one
pushing
star.
two right now.
But you're kind of pushing McCullough. You're kind of pushing Dame out of limelight to try to rise up McCullough.
You are.
They're always saying like they want to
Yeah.
trade who we trade. You don't trade either one of them. You keep them.
But here's the thing, and this is what my problem comes with the ego part of it. So you go to San Antonio and what? Like what changes about your star? You know what I mean? Absolutely nothing. Like your game has gone down, declined since you left.
I can comfortably say you went to San Antonio thinking you were gonna get a taste of the finals at least.
And if you would have balled,
Yeah, you would have.
Absolutely.
You would have.
You could have been the final.
You were the piece. Like you want to get the recognition, but you got the
yep.
check. Like you got the deal.
Yep.
And the thing I don't
You
like
got
about
you got the all-star berth. Like
Yep.
like you got all these other things for validation that should have been or could have been enough. And then you go to San Antonio where they don't worship their players either.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
That was the way,
Like,
if you want to foster your ego, if you want
you gonna go to Greg Popovich to get some pats on the
At
back.
that point, he should have gone home and just went to Dallas.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
then guess what? And then you get
Or Houston. Houston's
Yeah. And
actually.
then you
but
get
they,
it.
they weren't.
They were in the running for him.
I thought Dallas was the one knocking, and
Houston was close. Phoenix
was
was really close.
That would have been a
Dwight
different story.
The Lakers got two meetings and they botched both of them.
See, that would have been a different. That would have been a different story.
yeah,
right
but
there.
anyway, we digress.
And why are we talking
Well,
about
like,
the Lakers again? This man-
Because it's
Yeah,
easy.
It's
You
not
know,
happening.
1 degree of separation from
Then
every
again,
state.
we did find our way back into the
Hey,
Blazers.
Brian,
Yeah.
1 degree of separation from ever being able to go back to the Lakers.
It always goes
Right.
back.
Anyways, LA,
I think-
San Antonio.
I think Kawhi Leonard he is what he is, like best two-way player in the league. We'll see if he can stay healthy this year.
But
He's
that's
already
it.
banged. He's already
I'll say
banged
it.
up.
I'll say it.
What?
That's it.
What?
He's the best two-way player in the league.
He is. I mean,
But that's it.
Hands down.
That's it.
Well, yeah, that's a given. That was no declaration.
No,
Right?
no. I feel like.
You think
You feel like what?
I think he's overrated.
No, I'm not gonna say that because
That's
his.
right.
And I could never say that because I've only wanted to see this man continue.
Let's say it.
What do you
Say
say?
it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
It's
How
not
you
that he's
feel?
overrated. It's not that he's overrated. But we know he's a freak. He really is. He can't. Yeah. He can't shoulder the weight that's coming to him.
He just did.
Did he?
He just won the team to 60 games. 60
not?
wins.
It's only gonna get. I'm saying it's only gonna get heavier as those vets continue to leave.
I mean, it's up to them to replenish
Like
the roster.
no one knew Ginobili had even that left
Well, I
in the
mean, yeah,
tank,
you gotta
and he came out
Hey,
and played.
You got to replenish the roster. I mean, that's not
You saw iRobot. Will Smith with the whole half of the movie. He didn't know he was a robot until bam. We don't know Kawhi Leonard is human. We don't know yet.
He beat Golden State that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And then they had to put in a rule.
But that-
The Zaza / Kevin Rose rule. Shout out.
And then what you've alluded to for years, that culture, like they plug and play.
It's machine. I
You
want
talking
to
about
put
San
them
Antonio?
less.
Oh yeah, they don't care.
wins.
They don't care.
DeJounte Murray will probably be a monster next year. They'll find some guy that's gonna.
I shouldn't
whether
say
it's
that
Forbes,
culture. It's pop.
slow mo.
It's
But
pop.
guess what? Pop is the culture.
Yeah.
And guess what? They allowed it to be like the ownership said,
Yeah.
bust a move. Who's that?
Bust a
R.C.
move.
Buford? Who's that?
R.C. Buford.
I don't know nobody in the Spurs organization. And I only know R.C. Buford because I heard it mentioned recently.
Yeah.
Like, you know zero about the San Antonio
Real
Spurs.
G's moving silence,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
That's
But you know what I
it's
wanna
an
say?
interesting town too.
I want San Antonio to get some talent, man. Like,
I wanted to get Chris Paul.
I
That's
need
what
to-
we always had
I
that
want
conversation.
them to
thought he
get
was-
Kevin Durant. I think if Kevin Durant would have went there, he wouldn't have any of the issues he's having now as far as his image
we would have respected
and all of that.
Talking to a Longhorn fan, so like
And
Kevin went anywhere and went
exactly.
back to Texas.
And they would have won.
Kevin
Durant on the San Antonio
But you know
Spurs,
what?
they win.
It's not good for his brand. It's not good for his marketing. So we can't
I
go
don't
to
care.
San.
We can't go.
We can't
I
go
don't
to San.
care.
We can't go to San.
All right, let's keep it moving. What
But
else?
talking
we
about
got?
the biggest brand next to the Lakers, one degree of separation.
Always.
Boston, I got them same record as San Antonio, 55-27.
Fair.
I got no argument there.
And like, as I was putting that, like, yeah, they're the number 2 team. I was like, if you look at their roster, like, they have a very young roster now.
Babies.
They have a lot.
They
Of,
depending on.
they
They
have a
gonna
lot
depend a lot
of
on
babies. And so, like, Brad Stevens, we respect him as a coach. He's top 5 coach in the league easily, and I think he has the means to get these guys balling the way we've seen. We've been accustomed to the last couple of years. But what's gonna happen? Like, we gotta see how. I think Gordon Hayward's gonna fit in seamlessly with this offense. He knows Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, he that man can adapt
He can
players
adapt.
to his system.
Yeah.
Like that's just
And that's his player.
crazy amount of plays this man
Like,
runs.
Gordon Hayward's the reason why he's in the league right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. They put each other on the map.
Yeah.
So like
Gordon Hayward's in the league right now because of Brad Stevens.
yeah. So it's like it's almost like they owed each other to have this.
So
to have
here's
this reunited.
Here's
It feels so
the,
good.
I guess, big picture for everybody out the East is like, these moves were made. Everybody's still gonna say, yeah, it's Cleveland, but Boston really actually has some staying power if that young and that talented of a squad.
Future-wise.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, they're
Like
set up.
2-3
They're set
years
up.
from now, they could be the
Hands
Cleveland
down.
of the East, where you're like, man, good luck. Good
Yeah,
luck.
like,
hands down.
Yeah.
It worries me that they got rid of the defensive identity with Bradley
But
and Jay
you
Crowder.
got the same coach,
You
and
got
that
the same
man
coach.
is going to push defense no matter what.
Brown needs to step up and be that next defensive guy for them. And then I think Jason Tatum, who I think is going to play a lot at the power forward position. So I think they're going to be able to stretch teams out.
And Blake Griffin is gonna have a field day.
Yeah,
So,
but then-
just go back to
it's
that
not-
point.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Blake
He's gonna have a
Griffin's
field
gonna have
day,
a field
but
day this year.
But the thing about, I think, the level that we saw Isaiah Thomas reach last year, and I think we can easily say that Kyrie Irving is a more talented player than Isaiah Thomas. Not taking away from Isaiah Thomas,
Great.
but
I mean,
Kyrie is the layup king. The
jump king.
best handles I've ever seen in my life.
Best handles
handles
ever.
of all
He's the
time.
best. He has the best handle in league history.
What is he like? What is Brad Stevens gonna do with Kyrie Irving? Like, that's what I think he's gonna be unleashed. I think he's gonna be very close to leading the league in scoring this year.
Not close. He's leading the league in scoring this year.
Good. Fair
I
enough.
have him scoring 30 to 32 points a game.
Damn.
I think he can get money because they're gonna have him launching threes. He's gonna have him in those pick and roll
He's
situations.
gonna have the ball in his hand more.
All these crazy little plays that he runs. He's gonna let Kyrie Irving loose, and I think Kyrie Irving is embracing that. He wanted this challenge. I think he's gonna take it by. I think he's gonna take the league by storm, and prove that he can win without.
I think he'll
win without LeBron.
I think he'll be.
He was bold for making.
We
that
saw
move.
Kyrie without LeBron for 18 to 21 games streak. He wasn't a pup. He still showed plenty of potential, and they still.
Yeah, but
You talking about before or just when LeBron got hurt?
When LeBron got hurt.
But the team
Remember
wasn't
when he
built- the team really wasn't
took his
built
2.5,
around-
3-week break?
The team really wasn't built around his talents though. Like,
what you don't want to do, and to your point, you don't want to take away from because it's regardless of the circumstances. You didn't do nothing when they needed you to step up. So no, the team wasn't built around you. It wasn't built around your strengths. But it's your team when the other guy's out and you didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
But on the flip side to that, he's rejuvenated.
Yeah.
He's got new circumstances. He got a Supermax coming up in a couple years.
He's gone a year
Like,
straight
he's
without
in-
an injury,
He's
a
in
major
the-
injury.
There's a lot of energy behind this. He's got a team.
Yeah.
He got
dopest kicks in the league.
He got a team that
Dopest
can.
kicks in the league.
He got a team that he can grow with. He's the face of that team. So
And that's what I like.
So
I
if you
like
look
he
at
has
all
those.
of the variables, I say it leads more to him being successful than not. And the Boston fans are already embracing him just off of who he is as a player.
They have.
They don't even have to. They love him. They're like, this is our guy.
I
Like,
don't know though, man. They got rid of their fans. They got rid of their fan favorite. They
what have you done?
Danny Ainge. What have you done for me lately?
What have you? No.
Are you saying that to Isaiah Thomas?
No. I'm saying fans. All it takes is some winning, and you forget about all of that stuff.
It's true.
Very fickle.
There's no loyalty in sports.
Very fickle. All you gotta do is get some dubs.
This is true.
He come out there and kill. They're gonna say yes. We did.
Danny did him dirty though.
Oh,
Danny
super
did
dirty.
him dirty.
Super dirty. There's no loyalty. It's only for the players.
So next up, and it's just number one in the East Cleveland. Isaiah Thomas on this squad. He probably won't be back till January.
How long is it gonna take him to get back to form?
I don't think he's gonna be.
I was thinking
about this. I was thinking about this.
They don't need him during the regular season.
No. Is it horrible?
You're gonna start.
You're not gonna like this because this is ex-Bulls here, but wouldn't it be smart to let Rose take the minutes for the regular season?
Well, that's what I was about to.
And ease back into it with the hip.
I think
that's what they'll ease him. They'll ease him.
He's not going to be till January, but like, what do you think about having Isaiah Thomas come off the bench?
Why wouldn't? Why?
Like, not even like even when he comes back,
his mind not going. He's not going to accept that.
No,
because like this
and Rose already acknowledged he'd be down to come off the bench.
This is contract year, G.
Yeah, no. It is, but this is how I look at it. Like, now Isaiah Thomas can finish the games or whatnot. But you're gonna have he's coming back in January. So you're gonna work this lineup here that you have with Rose, Wade, Crowder, LeBron, and Kevin Love. And you're gonna work to get that chemistry. Now, when Isaiah Thomas comes back, he's used to getting buckets, he's used to having the offense run through him. You're gonna have him come in there on that second unit and basically just do what he did over there in Boston. He's going to get all the opportunities, and he can still drop 20 plus off the bench. Like, that
second unit's so deep.
It's deep.
You got J.R., Tristan, and
he's going to be the guy though. But he'll kick it out to J.R. So you run a pick and roll with him and Tristan Thompson.
There's going to be an issue.
The dive guy. Kyle Korver, J.R. Smith over there.
It's not that you don't make basketball. It's not that you don't make basketball sense. Because basketball sense, that makes it all adds up. But why would J.R. Smith be tripping in the media about Dwayne Wade starting over him? Because it matters.
I don't know why J.R. got mad.
Hold on a second.
I do.
Hold on a second.
He's always come off the bench.
Hold on a second. Not only is he complaining, but J.R. Smith just got his money.
Actually, take that back. Because J.R. Smith did he did a lot to kind of earn that spot. So I think he might be a little bit butthurt because the fact that he did everything that LeBron told him to do, and stayed in line, stayed out of trouble. He got the starting job, and then they take him to him just because his boy comes. So I gotta say.
But what I'm saying is, if it doesn't, because if JR's in that second unit, he just let that thing go.
That's where he belongs.
But guess what? He's upset. Why is he upset? Because it matters to him that he starts. It's gonna matter to Isaiah Thomas. You're not gonna get the best Isaiah Thomas coming off the bench.
So what's gonna happen with your boy?
I just got traded.
Derrick Rose already acknowledged. He already acknowledged before that.
Have you seen that? So Derrick Rose.
Hold on. Let's stick with this real quick. Just real quick. I just got traded from a team that I was loyal to. That I was told was going to bring the Brinks truck in. I was a part of the recruiting team that brought Gordon Hayward over.
And Al Horford.
And now you trade me.
You use me and abuse me.
And I played through the injuries. I played through my sister's death.
Yeah.
I made my injury worse. I got us to the conference finals.
Did everything you want me to do.
And now I gotta go to the bench in my contract year. Teams are already skeptical about paying me. Yeah. Now you mean tell me I lost my starting job coming back, all things considered, to Derrick Rose that got $2.5 million this year?
It's true.
It's not going. It's not going. He's not going to be his best coming off the bench.
Now, do you think they have enough time? They have a lot of guys. Do you think they have enough time to get the lineups?
Basketball
lineups right?
essentially makes sense. doesn't make sense in real life.
So what type of year do you think Derrick Rose is going to have? Because Derrick Rose looks...
If Derrick Rose stays healthy, he's getting $20 million a year next year.
It's interesting because we've seen flashes of Derrick Rose.
Because it's looking easy, guys. Is it looking easy? Y'all see these clips?
He looks good.
It's look easy, him going to
good.
that cut.
Now, for me, I watched a lot of Knicks games last year.
Even that flush,
Derrick Rose,
2 games ago, where I was like, man, he getting his bunnies back.
Derrick Rose was one of the most selfish players last year. Like, all he was doing was getting his grits. Like, he did not. I don't think he ever passed the ball to Kristaps Porzingis. I don't think he ever did. And so, and Melo, like he wasn't passing either one of those guys. So I know he was humbled to the point where nobody wanted him. So now he's talking about
signing a minimum deal.
He's talking about people want to pay him double. I'm like, Derek, if they pay you double, you only get 4.6.
You're only getting $4 million.
So you might need to get triple to quad that money, you know. But
Chicago public school system, baby.
if Derrick Rose,
I'm math
Right.
I'm not gonna go there with Derrick Rose because with the Memphis scandal and all that. I like John
I know
Calipari.
where
That's
you're
my
going.
guy, so I'm not even gonna go there.
I know where you're going with that.
If Derrick Rose, if he's able to I don't know, get 18 points a game this year, is he gonna want to go to the bench? How are you going to incorporate this? Because Derrick Rose has a huge ego too. So you're trying to win a championship.
Well, you're looking at what's your future. Is Cleveland are they trying to sign Isaiah long term?
They don't know because they don't know if LeBron's gonna be there next year.
But if LeBron leaves, you should back up the brick truck for Isaiah.
Do I want to back up the truck for a 30-year-old?
What does that kid need to do?
I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong.
No.
What does he need to do to prove that he deserves a max?
It's not about him deserving. But what am I doing as a franchise, picking up Isaiah Thomas?
It's better than letting.
With LeBron gone.
So if you at least you can sell tickets with that dude.
You're gonna sell tickets anyway.
He just led a team to the Eastern Conference Finals.
He's got a bad hip and he's 5'9".
I don't care if he's 5'9".
And he's 30, G.
Who cares?
What you mean?
Pay him his money.
I feel bad for him.
I don't feel pay him his money.
I'm not maxing him out though, G.
What more does Isaiah Thomas got to do to get people to pay him?
It's not. But here's the thing.
What does he have to do?
I'm saying. He's got a hip injury that's kept him out half the season.
And it even relies on athleticism.
And he's 5'9", and he's 30 years old, G. That's a tall order. Man. That's a tall order.
Who's got him paid? Allen Crabbe got paid. Timothy Mozgov got paid.
So you don't
Evan Fournier got paid.
You don't make it right. You don't make it right.
Pay Isaiah
by
Thomas
going back because other people made bad
Anwar's going to use Timothy Mozgov as an example.
He should. He should.
Forever
he
now.
Should. That was the dumbest. They set the market.
His team.
They set the market.
20.
I thought it was a fake. I thought it was fake. I swear on my life, I did not believe it. And I kept on watching. I can't believe it.
He came overheated, man. He came overheated.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then you gave Dang $1 billion right after that. Moving on.
I just had flashback.
So
they were gonna give Dang. Washington was gonna give him a $21 million contract
for 3 years.
For 3 years. The next meeting he had was with the Lakers. They were like, "We'll give you $4 years, $72 million." He was like, "Where do I sign?"
This is an easy decision. I don't even need my agent here.
Hell
I
no.
can sign that.
Like what?
472.
LeBron is going to be the MVP this year.
Yes.
LeBron is going to be the MVP
yes.
this year.
That's not a biased statement either.
He's out to prove it. It's not biased. I hate LeBron.
No.
So
the storyline. The storyline is there.
The storyline is there. The fun is there. They're going to be an exciting team.
Are you buying into this injury issue, the ankles? Because this is the second time they were talking about that in the summer before.
Because it's the slow news cycle. There's nothing wrong with LeBron.
You just think he gonna actually start pacing himself?
No.
Well, LeBron is not. He's not
chasing Mike. You chasing Mike. You can't slow down. You got to pick it up.
You chasing ghosts right now.
You chasing Mike. You got to pick it up.
Yeah, when he said he chasing ghosts, I kind of laughed. I was like, man, you taking shots at a man who's still alive. I don't know if he knew it was being delivered that way, but that's how I took it when he said that.
I took it as
it's the goal. Like,
Or he's just saying,
going,
man, Michael's that disconnected with reality.
When I look at it, it's a diss like none of you guys are on my level in the league.
Yeah.
So in order for me to get greater, I have to look at somebody that's
ain't here
that's
no
not
more.
even
Yeah,
here.
not even playing.
Well,
no
it's
more.
Like I'm looking. I'm not.
I don't think he
All
was.
right.
I'm
Was
looking
that-
past you.
But was that a rhetorical question? Were you asking me if I agree, like straight up, Braun MVP this year, or was this a preface into something like, here's why it's not?
No,
Gonna be-
I agree. I think he's gonna be the MVP.
Okay.
If we sneak into it, we might as well sneak in.
If I had to pay
MVP.
money today, if I had to make a bet right now, it'd be on.
I don't like that everybody.
I say KD's gonna get it.
I don't like that everybody's jumping into this right now, this early, because it's just, how do we even, what are you pulling from? The pain from last year's loss?
Yeah,
Like,
This could be his last ride with.
is this? Are we saying this is
with,
LeBron's
Cleveland
last
until he
year in
goes
his
here?
prime? Is that what we're saying?
Until he
sorry,
signs.
say it again, bro.
I said, are we saying this is his MVP run, or has to be,
This is his
because
last one he
this
can
is
get.
his last peak year?
You can say that.
He's gonna be
you gotta
32,
say,
32 years
well,
old.
but he's like 37 in basketball life.
At least.
Just far
If
as
At
LeBron,
least.
so
minutes
That
and
man's
stuff
been
like
putting-
LeBron is 50. I have him at 56 and 26. If he gets that team to 60 wins, he's getting the MVP. Because
Yeah, I mean, 60
if you
wins.
look at his season last year, he had one of his best statistical seasons he's ever had. From rebounds,
And he
assists,
And he wasn't even-
he had a career high in
Yep.
assists, and he wasn't even in the top 3. He didn't even get invited to the award show.
Which he remembers.
If they dominate and you got rid of Kyrie, you got all these mixed match players that you're trying to incorporate into a championship nucleus. If he's able to work his genius and get these guys clicking on all cylinders, he's gonna get MVP.
And you asked the question, what am I drawing from? Just the energy, like the renewed energy. I mean, how present he is in the media. You know how pumped he is about starting the season. Like he got his homeboy back. He got something to prove since Kyrie told him like he ain't never been dumped. Like ain't nobody ever quit him.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like people give back money.
And not just
to play with
dumped.
him.
He got dumped in the most passive aggressive schoolboy.
Well, he got dumped the way he got dumped the way that he usually dumps people.
Yeah, like
You know what I mean?
This is the first
politically
time.
is politically correct,
Yeah.
and yet saying something well
he
beyond
called
what's
him
being
kids.
said.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's 17 times.
Yeah, man.
Like, he's very
You
passive.
talk about it's like almost like practice. Like you talk about practice.
Yeah.
You talk about a kid.
Yeah.
You talk about this kid.
That's
Who,
right.
that kid?
So the energy is there. The energy is there.
I love that
The
interview,
story-
by the way. That
yeah,
the storyline-
he's like, you're gonna tell me I sunned you? Well, no. Listen to this interview.
Yeah.
No one has ever said no to LeBron.
Never.
Not since high school.
Not since,
Like,
not even
not since
then.
he became LeBron.
Because he was 6'1".
Not since he was a sophomore in high school, probably.
He was 6'1" in
Middle
fourth
school.
grade.
Yeah.
Like, he was destined for greatness. Maybe his
Yeah.
mom told him no at 5 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
LeBron for MVP. I think he's gonna have a renaissance.
So
Coming to the
LeBron
end of that
And the
peak.
record one more time.
56 and 26, but
Cool.
hey, man, they can get more. They can get. I don't put it.
You could see
past them to
60,
get 60.
but you're saying if it's 60, there's no question he
I
should be
think
MVP.
if he gets 60 wins, that will lead him to the MVP. And then looking at here, so like LeBron was the catalyst in the whole Big Three era.
Yeah.
And these next teams right here is kind of like the superstars lining together. So
Yeah, okay.
starting here, OKC, and I have OKC at 57 and 25, and I think they're newly do they have enough firepower to beat Golden State? I think they have. I think they match up great with
Yes, for 2
with
games.
Golden State. I think this takes it back to when before Golden State had KD.
But we already know you can catch Golden State sleeping even with KD. We saw it last year, not often, but we did see it.
They only lost one. They only lost one game in the playoffs.
But okay, that's what I'm saying. But OKC was literally going to have to come out and you have to get triple double rust and
Hoodie Melo.
So this is
legit.
triple-double Russ. So this is like how I look at Russ's season this year. Like, Russ...
And then PG just playing ball. Like, that's it. If you get that, sure.
It's kind of like when Shaq, when Shaq and Kobe were together, like, that's kind of look at, like, Durant and Westbrook. Like, they were butting heads. Who was the star? When Shaq left, Kobe was left passing to Chucky Atkins and Luke Walton, Snush Parker. These guys, Chris Mim, he was running pick and rolls with Chris Mim and feeding Chris Mim the ball when he would never want to give the ball to Shaq and stuff. Like, it didn't make any sense. But as soon as he got somebody there, when he got Paul Gasol, when he got Andrew Bynum, he was like, oh, I can do this. Like, I experienced that the highlights of getting 81 points. I got all the individual accolades. I want to get back to winning. Russ has had nothing but winning throughout his career, and he had his best statistical season ever. Got an MVP. No winning now. I got Paul George. I got Melo. I was passing to Oladipo, Sabonis, Roberson. Now I'm slashing to the basket, and I got Melo at the top of the key. I got Paul George who can create his own shot. I think now all those lanes that I think he's still gonna get almost like a triple-double this year. I think he's gonna attack in the same type of way. He's just gonna have shooters that he can kick it out to and actually have some help.
My thought is he better not have a triple-double because
I don't think he's gonna have a
he better be utilizing the help.
But why?
Let me tell you what. Real quick.
He might not get maybe 9 rebounds, 8 rebounds, but why should he get 10 assists?
I don't think so. Let me tell you why. Because I think he needs to focus more on true defense than chasing the ball. When you got 2 wings that are capable rebounders, I think Melo is going to be out to. Give me a second. I think Melo.
You see Melo with the rebounds?
Yeah, I think Melo's going to be out to. I think Melo's going to be out to prove.
Get the fuck out of here! I got it.
Exactly. Right.
Gonna get these stats.
And I don't think Steven Adams is going to move out the way. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, I think they're going to play. Because I don't think they.
Let me just ask you a quick question. Do you think when Steven Adams, when he's giving up those rebounds, do you think it's beneficial for the team for just let Russ get the ball and take off?
No, because you needed that explicitly to win. You don't need that explicitly now to win for the same reasons you just named a second ago. I can get the rebound and you run. I can give it to Paul George, and then Paul George gives it to you. Yeah. Or I give it to you, and then you give it to Melo trailing. Like, not everything falls and rises and falls on what you do as a player.
I understand.
So with that in mind, Russell Westbrook can go back to some of the more defense fundamentals, so he stop looking like a subpar defender when he should actually be a superb defender.
He should.
And going and doing all of that gambling.
We know he can be.
But I'm saying, so doing all of that gambling.
That's a great point because they should have a real defensive mentality this year because Steven Adams, Roberson, Paul George. If Westbrook can be the defensive guy.
Russell Westbrook was known for defense in UCLA. It was one of his highlights was the ability to defend at a high level.
I just think
going for all of those rebounds blindly like that takes away from your focus on your man because you're like this. Where's the shot? Like you almost let him.
But it's just like that meant like I understand what you're saying, and he's gonna have more help to do, so he doesn't have to do so much. But that mentality that he had, just that goal, I think it's like it's an onslaught. It's just like an onslaught of energy that's just like contagious. And if you're able to rope talented players within that energy and just use him as just like it's like a force of nature coming down the lane, and everybody's like, "Where's Russ? Where's Russ?" Oh, I got Melo. Oh, I got Paul George, and just let him feed. Let him be like the true, like almost like how Jason Kidd was there. Like Jason Kidd, you should just get the rebounds and just go. And I think he's gonna they're gonna thrive playing off Westbrook, and I think they're gonna enjoy that because they used to always have to take.
If he has to, and even though he has boundless energy, if they have to rely on him doing it, they're not gonna win. Like
It
all
was
of
47
that, like
games with him doing
like all of that. No, and again, it's not an insult to him. It's just the way of the game. It's the reason why Golden State looks so effortless because of the weapons that they have and the way they do it. So Russ, go get 30 points. Go get but guess what? We know that's not going to win the game.
They said Golden State came out and said he's
absolutely easy to
guard.
guard. Now, but within the flow of the game of last year, let him get everything he gonna get. He's not gonna beat us.
Yeah. He's easy to
It's Michael Jordan.
He's easy to guard.
It's Michael Jordan. Let Michael Jordan get all the points he gonna get because they're still not gonna beat us in the series.
Let's see how easy to guard he is when you don't have Oladipo and Roberson clogging the lane. He has weapons now, so you can't just key in and stop Westbrook this year.
As long as he utilizes, and he has to.
We got Hoodie Mello.
As long as
Hoodie Mello.
And I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it because the point you said earlier, Bryce.
You're hoping Hoodie Mello shows up.
Correct me.
What does Hoodie Mello do? Just tell Mello to get buckets. Tell Mello to get buckets.
Get buckets and rebound.
That's all I need you to do, Mello, and play some decent defense.
I think
I already told you from the beginning. I want to see it. It's the first time I've been.
Can they beat Golden State?
You're looking at some wasted years, and I hate to keep using the same word over and over, but it makes sense every time. Rejuvenated.
All right.
He's playing with all-star level talent, which he hasn't played with since Allen Iverson's first year in Denver.
Yeah.
He left New York to go to Oklahoma City. Like he left the limelight of New York
But there wasn't no limelight in New York.
It was pretty
joke. It's a joke right now.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
I agree.
It is still the Mecca. It's still the best guard.
I know. And every time I hear someone say that from the league in an interview, I fucking laugh because I'm like, look at the history for the last.
Right!
Yeah.
You speaking my language, baby! 9 out of 10 of our arguments are centered around this
Both of you guys get out of here.
This fake New York Mecca illusion.
Yeah.
Of course, if you got 700 billion people, you're gonna get some good playground legends and stuff like that. You got a billion people.
But those playground legends haven't won you a chip.
It's the Mecca because it's the biggest city in the world. Not because
it's the most historic building.
Why? What historic has happened in Madison Square Garden that hasn't happened at other places?
Godzilla. That's all I got. I don't know.
What's happened? What's happened in Madison Square Garden?
It's been a long time.
No, I'm just saying, even go to the prime. What's happened in Madison Square Garden?
We all know
that's
Jordan's
so great.
Double nickel game.
Okay,
I mean,
everybody. We all know the famous performances at Madison Square Garden.
There's been some good fights at the Garden.
Now a lot of
it's in New York.
I know.
That's the thing. That's what it is. It's New York is the center of the universe.
They're one.
New York is the center of Earth.
Fan bases
but that's it.
They're one of the smartest NBA crowds next to Chicago.
I can't prove any of that.
I don't know about the smartest crowd.
They know their basketball there.
If they knew their basketball.
Now the people running, James Dolan doesn't know what he's doing.
Don't even give me.
But
they knew their basketball.
They should treat that team like the Packers and have the city own them. Have the city of New York own them.
Man. All right, let's keep.
Now, speaking of guys who know a little bit of something about basketball, and that's Houston and Daryl Morey, and they're trying to revolutionize this game with this whole 3-point barrage that they let off on teams, and no mid-range jump shots, even though I do like a mid-range jump shot every now and then. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but they're strictly doing layups, 3-pointers, foul shots. And they're spreading the ball out to where Gordon and Ryan Anderson can hit 30-foot threes. And now you're going to have these two dynamic playmakers at all times on the court just facilitating this crazy offense that Mike D'Antoni and Daryl Morey have pretty much mastered. So I think they're going to get 60 wins, 60-22.
I'm biased here. I didn't want to see this. I didn't want to see this. One, because you already touched on it. I wanted to see CP3 go somewhere else.
I did too.
Preferably San Antonio.
It's so weird.
I really wanted to see him under Pop. I just wanted to see it happen.
It would have been.
But isn't James Harden naturally a 2?
He is naturally a 2. All this talk about James Harden and Chris Paul not being able to play together, like
I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I don't see it or when I see it. I guess
he just got converted over to the point.
Yeah, no, and you can't judge nothing. Even in the first couple weeks of the regular season, I'm not going to judge anything like that. I mean, give me the first quarter of the season,
James
and
Harden
then
likes
we'll
to
know.
pass. But he loves to get buckets, and Chris Paul is going to get that man buckets.
There's a reason James, that was
he's going to get him buckets. So, now, do they have enough? I have for Golden State, basically said, like, if their fans will be, what will make their fans happy? And I basically said they don't deserve happiness. They don't. They don't.
They put the Boog cheat code in.
No, they put the Boog cheat code.
They put the Boog cheat code in, man.
I was like, we talk about all these 29 teams here, and everybody's playing catch up.
Barring injuries.
Their stupid order said they're light years away, and now we got them looking like he's looking like a prophet when after they got KD.
I mean, they got 4 players, two in their prime, 2 not technically in their prime. One, both superstars locked in the long-term deals. And the 2 supporting guys are saying openly that they'd be willing to take less.
Yeah, Clay's already talking about that.
Like, what are we talking about? Barring injury, there's nothing to talk about.
So has there been any like gap?
Nope.
You think anybody closed the gap?
Nope.
This ocean-wide gap?
They closed the gap on each other. Like of all the other teams that were, vying for position. Like it's got that race.
Doesn't it seem like everybody's gonna beat up on each other?
And just to get beat up in the end. Like y'all all. But again, the reason why you play the game is you play the game.
I got them winning 70.
I would say, what's the record? 70.
I got them winning 70. Do you think they're gonna get the 70 wins? They won 67. They went 67 and 15 last year.
Well, this year now they're
KD was out for what?
KD was out
30 plus games.
They had to have a whole season to kind of get like know each other. They didn't really click full fledged. I don't think all year. I don't think they really reached their peak all year, which is scary. Because I don't think Kevin Durant and Steph Curry really even played too much off of each other. They kind of just got in where they fit in. What's going to happen when those guys start running pick and rolls together and start feeding off of each other? Like, what's going to happen then?
I don't want to know, man. So record aside, I mean, it's like, what's going to happen then? What's going to happen then is this whole season of Rose City Sports Talk is freaking pointless.
It's going to be a fun season.
Yo, so here's my question. Records aside, is there anybody, freak accidents aside, injuries aside, random wins aside, can anyone top this team in the next 2 years?
I think Cleveland.
If Cleveland clicks,
I think OKC can beat them.
I don't think OKC.
So,
I think OKC.
They're not OKC, not deep enough.
They gotta be
I agree
deep.
with that. You
gotta be deep.
They go to say the stupid deep.
It was weird.
Like,
you put OKC at as a worse record than Houston, correct?
I did.
But in my mind, I can see that.
Season,
but I still see OKC getting to the Western Conference Finals.
I mean, it's gonna be a dogfight between who faces them.
Because
I think Houston is a regular.
We've
season
seen
team.
Houston hit ridiculous shots, but I've also seen Houston go cold.
I've also seen Chris Paul choke in the playoffs. I've also seen James Harden just flat out disappear.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing.
Do you trust that?
Houston can't beat them just on the fact that you can't stop a nose.
So we're still leaving it up to basically OKC or Cleveland.
I don't even think OKC.
I think OKC
because when you go past that big line,
there's no depth.
There's zero depth.
Yeah, there's no depth.
You got Patrick Patterson, who's a pretty good
man. We talking the first name out your mouth is Patrick Patterson. You got a problem.
And look who they're
like if that's your first, if that's your
bench guy.
If that's your, I'm saying if that's your first example of depth, like you got a problem.
Their bench guy is Iggy. Or Sean Livingston.
Even
or
JaVale McGee. Like,
And that was
Nick Young.
ridiculous.
They got
Like, I
Swag.
mean,
You can't even say
so
that
when you
until
go over-
last
you go
year.
over- and
McGee.
They got Jordan Bell.
And then when you go over to Cleveland,
The
it's same
reemergence
thing.
of McGee.
Cleveland's bench is as good as some of those Eastern Conference teams starting five.
But the age.
See the
The
only thing
age
about
difference and the injury list difference between
I hear all
them.
that. I hear all that, and that's why I don't have them winning as many games as Houston or Golden State. But when the playoffs come around, those rotations are gonna shrink.
So-
That's true.
And they have.
Are we collectively saying
OKC don't have
the-
8 players.
the finals are
OKC
set
don't have
again?
8 players.
4
They
years.
need one more player.
They
4
got,
years.
They got 4.
You know what's funny?
That's what we're saying. We're
They
saying
got 4. They got 4 players.
It's gonna be 4
I'm
years
throw
in
out
a
a name
row.
that's gonna make you laugh. They need to sign Richard Jefferson.
Jeez.
They need one dunk a game.
Nah, they need
One dunk a game.
One dunk
They
a
want
game.
one dunk and one motivational
I think Cleveland
speech a
should. I
game.
think Cleveland should have kept Richard Jefferson.
I don't know why they got rid of Richard
I
Jefferson.
think that's
That was weird.
I think that's one of those glue guys, not even from an on court thing, but a
Yeah.
locker room.
No, that's what I mean.
And a
He's
steady presence.
the inspiration.
Like, you know what I mean? And then to keep things light,
Yeah.
and then the podcast that they got and all that stuff. Like all that
It was
stuff
good. It
is
was-
important to
it
the
was.
culture. And you lost a key piece.
I think OKC is gonna be one of those teams that get they get one of the buyouts though.
Yeah.
There's always one of those. There's always like a veteran there
Yeah.
that gets bought out. That's on a bad team.
Wade should have went there.
But you know he's going. He should have went there, but you know he's gonna play with his boy.
Yeah.
Play with his boo.
Man,
He wanted to go play with
they gonna
his
drink some
boo-boo.
wine together.
He said, go
That
on.
That
He
was
said, LeBron,
ridiculous.
He said, LeBron, what are we eating today?
I'm like,
They
that was Stoudemire flashbacks right there. That was Stoudemire flashback. I'm like, y'all are sharing wine on Instagram right now. Get out of here
Yes,
right
God.
now. Get out of here.
Are they gonna be?
When I saw that clip, all I thought in my head was, and I think
And they were doing the
The Running Man?
Like, man, these dudes.
I did
yeah.
that one time and actually kind of killed it. I didn't know I could do it.
That's all right, G, because I tell you what, G, if I had to play, I'd definitely be like, hey, we come on over here and play. Come over here, G.
Now-
They're going
now
to make fun of us, G, but we got
Now
to
it's
play.
getting all sentimental.
Yeah,
Now we
yeah.
gotta go.
Now
gotta
we hit
go.
the almost 2.5 hour mark here at Rose City
Has it
Sports
been
Talk.
2.5 hours?
It has been almost 2.5 hours
We
here
had
at
a
Rose
lot
City
to
Sports
say.
Talk. Hey, we didn't even touch. Well, we sort of touched on like MVP projections and things like that. But we're gonna get into that in the next episode. 'Cause
Yeah.
you already know we got plenty more to say.
We
But
do.
for now, we gotta tap out.
We gotta break this
we
down.
gotta tap out.
4 episodes.
All right, for Rose City Sports Talk, Bryce Trost, Anwar Jones. We got the homie Boog.
Keep 'em low.
No.
We'll be back.
2 hours. Damn.